alert because I want to let you know we have a tornado warning in effect for Cuyahoga County and the northern end of Lorain County, right there, the tip of Lorain County. This is going to be in effect until 4:30. So this is for southwestern Cuyahoga County and northeastern Lorain County. Parma included in this tornado warning. If you are in this polygon south of downtown, please seek shelter immediately. Lowest level of your home, putting as many walls between yourself and the outside of your home as you can, whether that's a basement. We always recommend basement first, but not every house has a basement. So go to that lowest level, first floor. If you have a first floor and you don't have a basement, interior space. You want to get away from windows. This tornado warning in effect until 4:30. Here's the timing. Avon Lake, 3:52. It's 3:45 now. So you have a few minutes. Cut the volume up on the TV if you can and head to your safe spot, and we will let you know as soon as this warning has expired. You know, it's afternoon. There may be kids that are home right now. Maybe mom and dad aren't quite home yet, so it's okay. We just want to let you know this tornado warning is in effect. Again, just cut the volume up and we'll get you through this. We'll let you know. Head to that lowest level of your home, most interior space. Westlake 403, Lakewood 411, Parma 421, and Brecksville 433. The reason for this tornado warning in effect until 4:30 is because you see this little notch here, this little area. There's the lightning. Here's Avon Lake, and then look right here. This is why the Weather Service has issued a tornado warning, because the storm is capable of producing water spouts. I mean, right now it's out over the lake, but those water spouts may become tornadic at some point. It looks like, if you look really closely, maybe even more than one area of rotation on our first alert Doppler. What we're looking at right now is our velocity product, so it's not rain, which is what you typically see. This is winds going towards and away from the radar. Definitely some rotation with this tornado warning in effect for southeastern Cuyahoga County, or southwestern, excuse me, including the Parma area, Westlake, Rocky River, Bay Village also included in this until 4:30, and the northern end of Lorain County. If you are in this red polygon north of Berea, please seek shelter immediately. Lowest level of your home, most interior space. You want to put as many walls between yourself and the outside of your house as you can. It's 3:46, so I mean, we have a ways to go on this tornado warning. Travel not recommended at this point. I-90 on the west side, particularly out towards Westlake and headed out towards Avon. This will be moving towards Bay Village by 3:58. It's 3:47 right now. 410 Lakewood. Parma 422, Independence. This is your first alert. This is moving in at 4:31, and then Brecksville 4:37. Again, Maple Heights shaker outside of the polygon right now, but this is moving east and it's not falling apart. Okay, this is holding together really well, so eventually this will be an issue for you. North side of North Olmsted also in the polygon, so please seek shelter immediately. I'm going to send it over to Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas now with an update.
All right, Sam, great stuff there. We had been watching these storms all afternoon, especially this line off to the west into western Ohio. And then over the last 5 to 10, maybe even 15 minutes in the weather department, Erica, Sam and I started to look at this storm out over the lake that began to spin just a little bit. And now the spin has increased, and we knew that the tornado warning was coming. That's why we were on the air immediately as this warning was issued. So to recap where we are right now, Lorain and Cuyahoga County under that warning until 4:30. Right now, the rotation is just moving on shore here. We're going to zoom in and get you a good idea here of where the worst part of this storm is. Just about to move in to the Avon Lake area. In fact, we had a live picture, we don't have it anymore, of our Crushers cam out in Avon that showed the leading edge of this thing moving on shore, and then the camera died. So there's a possibility that perhaps it was blown off one of the towers there at Crushers Stadium. We'll work to get that back for you, because that really showed the leading edge of what could be potentially a tornado with this storm. Now, it's also important to point out there's a lot of rain with this, so if we do have that rotation, which we'll look at on down our velocity product, it's likely going to be involved with a lot of rain too. But as Sam mentioned, now's the time to get to your safe spot here if you're in the Westlake area, if you're in North Olmsted. Unfortunately, I do think a lot of this spin, this rotation, is potentially heading towards the airport, which is not good at all, and a whole lot of rain and a good amount of thunder as well. So we're going to go ahead and again put a track on this because it's really important to remember where this storm is heading as it moves through a very populated area. Many times when we track potential tornado warnings or Doppler radar indicated tornado warnings, they sometimes go to an area that doesn't have many folks, but in this particular case, that is not the situation. We are talking about, basically eastern, northeastern Lorain County and western Cuyahoga County. So that's the heart of a lot of folks' homes and where they live. And now the fact that it's about 10 to 4, we have people on Interstate 90, we have people on Route 2, we have folks on the Turnpike. That increases the danger and the potential impact from this storm. You see that live picture down at the bottom right too. Be very careful there. We're watching where our weather beast is heading because we don't want to put that in danger at all. You want to be in the lowest point of your home and get away from windows. Here's the track. Westlake heads up right now. In the next 5 minutes or so, this storm, the rotation with this storm is coming towards you. So as Sam mentioned, sometimes it's summertime. Mom and dad are at work, and kids are at home. They're by themselves, or they're with perhaps someone, a babysitter, to help them out. Or if you're old enough to be at home by yourself, don't panic. Don't go outside. Don't get your phone out and try to take pictures or video of this storm. Get away from windows. Windows are the worst place you want to be near during a tornado warning or any type of severe weather situation. Not because of anything with different pressures or anything like that, because of the debris that can be spilled up into the air and then flung at you. Sometimes anything outside can act as almost as a missile moving through the air and can shatter windows. We see that a lot. So kids, get away from the windows, get to the downstairs. If you don't have a basement, get to someplace sturdy inside, an interior bathroom or a closet or anything. Turn up the audio and we'll walk you through this here. Again, the best idea is do not go outside with this. Okay, so Westlake here in the next couple of minutes. So I talked about the airport. Brook Park, Berea area, about 10 after 4, on into Parma here at about quarter after 4, Brecksville, 4:30, okay? Now that would assume that this line maintains its integrity, and I'll tell you what, we have a very energetic atmosphere here. Our dew points are up. We've got enough shear in the atmosphere for these storms to start to spin. We've seen that now with this particular cell and most likely other cells as well. I want to zoom out really quick because we were actually, while we were watching that spin over the lake, we were also interested in what's happening out here into our western counties, into Erie County, into Huron County as well. There also is a good amount of spin. We just have a brand new warning there. That includes Medina County. It's just for severe thunderstorm warning. We are still watching that spin. Let's go back and get you this new information on the Medina County storm right here. Medina County, Ashland County, Lorain County, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. That is until 4:45. But the reason we're on the air right now going wall to wall is what's happening here, moving right now on the lake shore. And again, I want to show you, let's show our debris tracker here. Not seeing anything that jumps out there. Our debris tracker, our correlation coefficient, does a good job of letting us know something that's not standard rain. Could be a little bit of hail, but in many cases it could be a little debris. We were watching on our Avon camera earlier, a lot of probably napkins from the stands were flying up in the air. Now that's not something that we would necessarily see on the debris tracker, but it's something like that. And as I'm looking, I'm going to really zoom in on this and really get tight, see if we see anything. Okay, there's a little potential action here just north and west of Westlake. I want to circle this for you, and we're going to get tight on this. This is possible if there's anything on the ground, or at least disrupting the ground, maybe kicking up some dirt or maybe some tree branches. It's located between Westlake and Bay Village. So talk about a populated area. It's house after house after house, and some very old trees that are there too. So I am concerned with these winds that are coming through this area of potentially some downed trees and then significant power outage too. You see those very bright colors there? That's where we have those wind gusts, 60, 70 plus miles per hour. So between Bay Village and Westlake, that's where most likely our rotation is, at least one of our areas of rotation. Now, another issue we're going to get here, and this is going to happen in the next 5 to 10 minutes, is this storm is actually getting very close to our Hopkins radar, which sometimes our data won't be as good as it passes over the airport as well. So again, this is what we're watching right now. You can see from Bay Village to Westlake. Boy, if you're in Fairview Park, if you're in Rocky River, North Olmsted, certainly in Westlake, the time to get to your safe spot is right now. Now, meteorologist Erica Page is also joining us here. She's in the weather office. Now, Erica's got the ability also to not only manipulate the radar and the winds, also to see what's happening as far as weather spotter information and information from the Weather Service. Let's send it into Erica for any information there. Erica, what do you got?
Yeah, we really haven't heard a whole lot other than the National Weather Service still monitoring some of the stronger rotation out over the Bay Village area headed towards Rocky River, Lakewood, they're saying in the next 5 to 10 minutes, which is what we've been detailing pretty extensively here with this tornado warning. It looks like they're canceling the tornado warning for portions of Lorain County. So Lorain County, you're good because this is continuing to move down to the south and to the east. But again, if you are in Cuyahoga County, you really need to make sure, especially if you are on the west side of Cleveland, Lakewood, Westlake, Parma, North Royalton, Parma Heights, Lindale, Brooklyn, Brooklyn Heights, Seven Hills, Rocky River, Brook Park, Newburgh Heights, Cuyahoga Heights. If I said your town, you need to make sure that you are in your safe place, because what's happening is we're watching this line of really dangerous winds that are coming in out of this storm. So tornado potential regardless. I mean, yes, it could certainly be there. We're seeing a pretty decent notch or that kidney bean shape that we talk about frequently when you see more supercellular type structures with thunderstorms, which tend to give us the better potential for seeing tornadoes. We're definitely seeing that, but just the wind in and of itself around the Westlake area, around Avon, that is going to be enough of a battle for you as this line continues to push down towards the south and to the east. So you really need to make sure you are in your tornado safe place. This is radar indicated, so we have not heard of any confirmation as of just yet, but it is definitely something that we need to keep a close eye on, Sam.
Tornado warning, you definitely want to take that very seriously, right? And again, no report yet of a tornado, but based on what we've been seeing on the radar, particularly when most of this was still out over the lake, there is a lot of rotation with this, and this thunderstorm means business. It's producing a lot of heavy rain, and again, there is that potential for a tornado with this thunderstorm. It's radar indicated. In effect, the warning until 4:30. Parma included in this. Again, Independence, just to the west of Cleveland, Lakewood, Rocky River, Westlake. I think if you're in Avon or, Avon Lake or Elyria, the part of the storm that would be producing a tornado has moved east of you. So all clear there. But as far as out ahead of this thunderstorm, and particularly the Parma area, and then Bay Village, Westlake, Rocky River, especially out towards Lakewood, please head to your safe spot immediately. Here's 480, and you can see that thunderstorm is headed right for some very busy roadways during our evening commute. Meteorologist Erica Page is putting up some time so you can see exactly when and where this is going. Lakewood 409, so you have just about 10 minutes to get to that safe spot. Lowest level of your home, putting as many walls between yourself and the outside of your house as you can. Maybe that's a closet. Maybe it's a bathroom. I mean, all houses are different, right? You just want to be away from exterior walls and away from windows, especially. Independence 430, Brecksville 436. Now, that's just after the warning expires, and Brecksville not in the polygon, but please do watch this thunderstorm as it's moving in your direction. 4:30 is the expiration time for this, and we will give you the all clear when it's moved through. This may also be producing some large hail. That's also a concern with this, and I would not recommend, if you're out ahead of this, going outside to see if you can see the storm coming in. You might not even be able to see anything. It would most likely be wrapped up in rain. Meteorologist Erica Page looking around here with our what do they call it? A microscope is the term I was looking for. And we're not seeing any significant hail at this point, but again, it is a possibility. I want to send it over to Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas, who's got an awesome shot from Edgewater.
Yeah, and again, we are on the air here as we come up on 4 o'clock. Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas here, along with meteorologist Sam Roberts and Erica Page. This is why we issue 19 First Alert weather days. We issued this yesterday knowing that, hey, the ingredients were setting up for a pretty volatile and active afternoon, and we are getting that. and then some. I want to show you this picture right now from our Edgewater cam. And well, you look at that right there. Well, what is that? We don't know exactly. We're a little too far away, and this camera resolution isn't all that great. It likely is a little lowering of the cloud there. This is looking off to the west. This is from Edgewater Beach. So we're sitting here at Edgewater Beach looking off to the west. What's west? Those towers out there are basically almost out towards the Lakewood area as you move off to the west. So that's the Gold Coast area out as you turn the corner out towards the Pier W restaurant. And we are looking at this lowering of the cloud here. Now, that's not necessarily a tornado, but I'll tell you what, when you look at these clouds, again, the resolution isn't all that great. We're not underneath the storm exactly, but boy, you see something like that. That's not something you want to see live on a camera. Now, we know there's also a lot of rain with this storm. The potential is there for hail, though we haven't seen much hail, but we do have very strong rotation. It's not just this rotation here. There also is rotation out over the lake that is also heading potentially to the east side of Cleveland. But this is the one near the Lakewood area, and boy, I don't like the way that looks. Again, wouldn't make a call on what it is, but it is certainly some lowering of the clouds, certainly some heavy rains, and you can see here at the bottom of this cloud, right there you're fine, but then as you get closer, this is a lot of rain, perhaps even a little bit of hail too, certainly out towards the open waters of Lake Erie, but you don't like to see that. If the control room could take this full really quick, I want to go back and change over to my weather maps, and we'll keep watching this this setup here for us. Actually, let's go over to meteorologist Sam Roberts. I just wanted to show you what we're seeing on this Edgewater cam. We can go back to Sam for more on this warning as far as what our radar looks like. Sam.
Yeah, it definitely looks ominous. And again, there is so much rotation with this out over the lake. Meteorologist Erica Page picking out exactly where that rotation is. She has drawn 4, now 5 areas of rotation. This is our velocity product. Again, we're not looking at what you would typically look at when you look at the radar, which is rain, right? And thunderstorms. This is all wind going towards and away from the Doppler radar down at the airport. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas of rotation there as this tornado warning remains in effect for Cuyahoga County until 4:30. Parma, you still have a few minutes to head to your safe spot, so I would encourage you to do so. Brook Park also in that tornado warning polygon. She's putting up some wind speeds right now. Again, these are going away from and towards the Doppler radar. And these are way above our heads, remember, so maybe not necessarily making it down to the surface, but that potential is there, nearly 70 miles per hour. You know, it doesn't even have to be a tornado. If you're seeing straight line wind at 70 miles per hour, that can actually knock over a mobile home. What do you do, by the way, if you're in a mobile home in Parma or Brook Park? I would ask that you please head to a more substantial shelter as soon as you can. The timing on this for Parma, 4:15, so you have about 14 minutes to head to a safer area if you are in a mobile home. We've got the Parma camera, actually, we can show you. Wow, some very ominous clouds there. You can see those rain-loaded gray cloud bases there, and you can actually see the curtain of rain there, the rain shaft in the distance. So if there is a tornado with this, and we've talked about this, you might not even be able to see it. Jason?
Yeah, we can stay on that shot for a moment. Just to give you an idea of what we're looking at here, that's from our Parma Padua High School camera. That's looking off to basically the north and west. And it's a similar shot that we saw from our Edgewater cam that shows a lot of heavy rain. You know, you look at that, I see no at least specific marker that we've got a tornado on the ground. This would be a really good view. That's one of the reasons we invested a lot into our 19 First Alert camera network, because the goal is, yeah, obviously on pretty sunny days, it's nice to see these shots, but really during severe weather, what kind of pictures we can get. So we are watching kind of the middle part of your screen, right above where it says CO period there, and kind of on the edge there, if we were to get anything that would drop down, we are looking for that. We're a little too far away to see anything that would touch the ground as far as debris goes, but that is a live look right now. Let's come back out here to our touch screen here. I want to show you another part of this storm. Sam and Erica have been talking about the tornado warned part of this storm. That's that's moving towards the Parma area as we speak. But I'm also concerned about another area of rotation. This thing is out over the lake right now, and I want to just show you here. I'm going to draw a new little cone here just to give you an idea of the latest timing. East Cleveland 424, Shaker Heights 432, Pepper Pike closer to 20 to 5, Chesterland and Bainbridge after that. The reason I'm saying this is I would expect, although I wouldn't be shocked, let's put it that way, if the Weather Service issued a tornado warning for eastern Cuyahoga County as well. Now, we're not going to wait for them because I don't like the way this thing looks. In the next 5 to 10 minutes, it's going to come on shore, mainly north and east of downtown Cleveland. We're talking about the Bracknell area. We're talking about Euclid as well, right up the shoreway there as you head out of downtown Cleveland. And again, I also, we don't like severe weather at any time of the day, especially don't like it at night, but about the second worst time for severe weather is during a commute, especially an evening commute. And with a lot of folks on both 90 in both directions, 480, 71, are being impacted by this severe weather. So we want to keep a lookout there also to what's going on over the lake. We do have that certainly potential rotation. Got a little bit of a couplet out there. Look at that. That's just north of downtown Cleveland. So as I mentioned, Bracknell, Shaker Heights, Cleveland Heights, East Cleveland, Euclid, even out towards Mayfield Heights. This rotation right there, you can see it right here on First Alert Doppler, that is heading onshore. So any folks that live north and east of the city between downtown and really almost out to the Mentor area, certainly into potentially East Lake, into Lake County, I'd be better safe than sorry. Get to your safe spot. Don't wait for the tornado warning to be issued. Get to your safe spot now. Put as many walls between you and the storm as possible. Get downstairs if you can. If you can't do that, get to an interior closet or a bathroom and take cover, turn up the audio, and we will walk you through it here. That's why we are here. But I don't like the way that looks at all. Let's go back into the weather office. Meteorologist Erica Page. I know, Erica, you're watching that rotation right there. We've got the main rotation with our tornado warning now into western Cuyahoga County. Both of these look pretty significant, right?
Yeah, I don't really like the radar signatures that we're seeing. And you've got to remember, too, like out over the lake, you're not going to have a lot that's going to prevent these storms from continuing to feed off of those relatively warmer waters. So that's why you're likely going to continue to see it strengthen. And if you live directly along the lakeshore, you don't have any trees or any land masses basically in the lake that could help to break apart any better organization with some of these showers and thunderstorms. So please, if you live anywhere from east side of Cleveland up towards Euclid, even potentially out towards the Mentor areas, we really watch this northern extent coming in. Please be mindful of that. I do want to give a quick update because I know we haven't talked a ton about the storms off to the west because we are focused on this tornado warning at this time. But we are getting some reports out of the Seneca County Sheriff's Office of a lot of tree damage throughout the county. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in this part of our viewing area for winds up to 70 miles per hour. So again, these storms mean business today. Please make sure that if you are basically caught within the path of these thunderstorms, you are taking them seriously. You're getting inside away from a lot of those windows because flying debris just in general could be a problem for us as we continue on through the rest of this afternoon and we wait for this line to continue to pass on through. It does look like we are seeing reports with the National Weather Service as we're in chats with them that they're getting a little bit of a debris signature out towards the east side of Parma Heights. So I'm going to pull that up here real quick. We're going to have to zoom in. And the problem is it's going to be a little harder to see it on this particular radar. See if I can switch it around here. But it may take a moment for that to happen. Let me see. It's hard to see it really well on this particular radar.
Yeah, tough when we've got, we're using our Cleveland radar, right, Erica? And as these storms, I just mentioned that about 10 minutes ago, as these storms pass over the Cleveland radar, we have to sometimes switch our radars to get a better idea of the data that we're going to be dealing with here. But as Erica mentioned, Parma Heights here, we can throw on our velocity product. Well, I don't like the way that looks in general. Look at that, Erica, right along. This is basically along Ridge Road in Parma Heights, between basically Snow Road, along Ridge Road, Route 3 there as well. This is Pearl Road and Ridge Road. Ridge Road is here. This is Pearl Road in and around Parma Heights. What was that, control room? Sorry about that. What did you say? Say it again. Oh yeah, let's take another look at our Parma camera. Now, unfortunately, we're too close to the action here to really see too much, but look at how that has changed. That's a live look at our Parma camera. That's from Padua High School. A lot of rain there. Don't see much. In fact, that looks like the image is frozen a little bit there too.
Can we take the Edgewater camera off of our Telemundo machine, please?
Yeah, we could if we could switch over to our other machine. Yeah, we've got a lot of sources here, a lot going on. This is a live breaking weather event, and we've got a lot to track here. But I am very concerned about what's happening right now. Parma Heights, Ridge Road. My goodness, this is all a bunch of homes here crossing over Route 3, eventually Route 94. Route 94 is State Road, so State Road, Ridge Road, Pearl Road, all south of Parma. I think if you're north of Parma, if you're north of 480, things aren't as bad. But once you get south of 480, that is not good. Let's look at our reflectivity. We're not going to be able to see too much there, just the leading edge here. Let's go back to our debris tracker because this storm is getting a little bit farther away from the radar. Still a little messy there in and around the Parma. I don't know, Erica, if you had any success looking at another one of our radars, if there was any more of a debris signature that you were able to see. What I'm seeing here is potential rotation just south of Parma, basically between Route 3 and Route 94, heading south and east. Now, this is eventually going to impact Independence. It's going to impact Brecksville, potentially here even North Royalton as well as it moves south and east. Now, interestingly enough, the Weather Service hasn't done, okay, we have a confirmed tornado now. Am I right on this? Here, that's a live look, by the way, out at Edgewater Beach. It is nasty. Let me just look at what we have here, because we just got this updated, and it has turned purple, which does mean we have an observed tornado here, a tornado-producing storm. However, it is called a, it is being tagged as observed, right, Erica, on this? Yeah, it is that purple color until 4:45, moving off to the southeast at 40 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and get this information out. I'm going to track from the actual rotation moving south and east at 40, so it's moving at a very good clip here. Brecksville, as I just mentioned, in the next 10 to 20 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, I should say. Macedonia closer to 4:30, Hudson, Kent, and Ravenna. So if you heard your city's name, you definitely want to get to your safe spot now. So I was just about to say, I was very surprised that the Weather Service hadn't continued this warning, and they just did do that. With this cell now moving through the Parma area, moving eventually here towards the I-77 corridor, crossing 176, okay? That's Broadview Road. Broadview Road, Snow Road is right there. So we're talking Broadview Road, State Road, Ridge Road, Pearl Road. The danger has passed. So we're really talking the heart of Cuyahoga County here, north of North Royalton, north of Broadview Heights, just north of Brecksville, just south of Independence. We're talking the heart of Parma. And you know, if you've been to Parma, who hasn't? What does Parma have a lot of? A lot of homes. All stacked up together, so a lot of folks out there and a lot of trees. So we're talking about the potential there also for some tree damage and even some power outage. You can see the worst of this storm right now, as I mentioned, Seven Hills also. We haven't said Seven Hills, just in the south of Seven Hills. This is crossing over Broadview Road right now. So this is some nasty stuff. Passing State Road, moving between State and Broadview Road. This is just south of basically downtown Parma, south of Snow Road. We're probably here near Rockside Road, also Pleasant Valley, as this crosses over Route 176, which is Broadview Road. There you see that very bright color. Let's go back to our debris tracker, see if we see anything there. Okay, that is showing a little bit more now as we're getting a little bit farther away from our radar at the airport there. We're going to send it over to, let's go over to meteorologist Samantha Roberts. Sam, this really, when you see the purple polygon there, that's where we're no longer talking about a Doppler radar indicated tornado. We're talking about an observed tornado.
Yes, please take this seriously. If you're in Garfield Heights, if you're in Bedford, if you're in Oakwood, and we have a crew right now in Oakwood for Operation Backpack, please seek shelter immediately. A substantial space, lowest level of your home or business, putting as many walls between yourself and the outside of your house as you can. This is in effect until 4:45 now, moving towards Macedonia. It's 4:12 now. This will be moving into Macedonia 4:25. Hudson, this is your first alert, 4:33, a confirmed tornado headed in your direction. This storm, you can see the polygon, it changed, right? It's no longer red, it's purple. Confirmed here. 4:39 Streetsboro, 451 Ravenna. Again, Portage County not in the polygon, but you need to watch this because I'm watching these on a different radar and they're not showing any signs of weakening or slowing down at this time. The warning goes into effect until 4:45. Cannot stress how important it is. If you're in Garfield Heights, Bedford, Oakwood, Sagamore Hills, Boston Heights, Twinsburg, Hudson, please seek shelter immediately. I just got a message from 19 First Alert Weather Spotter letting me know that tornado sirens are going off in Hudson, and we call those often outdoor warning sirens, right? Because they're meant to warn folks who are outdoors. So remember that for future reference. Never rely on a tornado siren to get your information. It's always best to have an alternate way to get those warnings. Independence, Garfield Heights, Bedford, lowest level of your home, putting as many walls between yourself and the outside of your house as you can. Northfield will also be impacted by this. And you know, at this point in the day, there's like more and more people on the roadways, right? So 271 here, and then you've got a portion of the 480 corridor, like one of the worst places to see something like this at this time of the day. We would ask that you please delay travel until this has moved through, because even if you're not moving through an area where there's a tornado, the rain is going to be so bad that you're not going to be able to see as you're driving around. Meteorologist Erica Page putting some times on here. This is knocking on your back door right now in Garfield Heights. So that window for you to seek a substantial shelter, it's rapidly closing. So please, if you're in Garfield Heights, lowest level of your home, most interior space, get there as soon as you can. Solon 430, eventually moving into Streetsboro. Potentially, again, you're just outside of the polygon, but if the storm continues in your direction, we will see impacts here. Look at all this lightning. Power outage potential with this complex of storms is very high. I've gotten several emails too over the last few minutes that we've got trees and stuff down, debris, lawn furniture in a lot of communities. So take this seriously. Stay away from windows until it passes. Jason.
Great information there. I also wanted to share with you, I just got a text from a weather spotter of ours in Parma. He runs an auto, basically a mechanic shop. The walls of his store have been basically caved in. He said from very strong straight line winds. That's his spotter observation there. That's in the Parma area from one of our weather spotters. Basically the walls, it looks like it blew the walls of the store in. Again, we're not exactly sure what kind of integrity the building had, but it's an actual business. So if he's telling me that, he's not the only one. There are folks with a lot of issues, most likely in Parma. We've also had reports of over 20,000 people now, mainly across western Cuyahoga, that have lost power, and that's to be expected. We're going to have more because of what's happening right now. We've got two basic areas of some very strong winds. And again, don't get so caught up on the tornado warning verbiage, because when we've got winds this strong, by the way, this particular area of wind, very bright color right now, is just south and east of Seven Hills. Where is it? It's crossing over I-77 as we speak at 16 after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's not good. It's also going to cross over Route 21. So we're between basically Brecksville and Cuyahoga Heights here, basically just north of the Independence area. So right now, obviously 480 and 77, a lot of people travel there, and this is not good because we've got basically dual rotations here, or at least dual areas of most likely 70+ mile per hour winds, basically on each side, bisecting 480 here, just north of Interstate 71 and just south, or 77, and then just south of Interstate 77 as well. Independence, Rockside Road, eventually this is firing basically right along 480 here near Garfield Heights. Now, Seven Hills, the worst is passing you as we speak. Brecksville, the worst is just to your north, all right? So we're talking eventually here, crossing I-77, moving in to the Garfield Heights area, eventually here, Bedford Heights out to Maple Heights, Bedford, Northfield, and 271 eventually. So now's the time to get prepared. Sam was talking about Oakwood Village. Yeah, unfortunately, we have the Operation Backpack out there, which is such a great event. And You have to let folks know here. Let's see, where are we? There's 271. So they still do have some time. But if Brian Duffy and Colton Molesky are listening, it would be a good idea to get everyone involved with Operation Backpack. Get inside, get to a safe spot there, and just kind of hunker down and wait this thing out. We actually have them. We do have them on the phone. Is that what you said? Okay, got it. Sorry. I thought you said we had them on the phone. We'll try to perhaps reach them for a weather report. But you can see this rotation now, or I should say very strong winds. Tough to really see the spin here, but you don't love to see this on the radar signature either. Let's take a zoom in look there. You can see how we've got a little bit of that messiness right there. Notice how it's all one color here. In and around Cuyahoga Heights, down 21, right? All that maroon, that's just plain old-fashioned rain. When you get to something like this on our correlation coefficient, or it's our debris tracker, what it does is it'll basically differentiate what is rain or maybe even some hail, and potentially to show things that are spinning up on the ground, or debris is a possibility here as it moves, because we got a lot of trees and a lot of just items that can be strewn about. That's why we always say get away from windows, because if we've got debris flying around in the atmosphere above the ground, it could fly into a window, break the window, and if you're near that window, cause some issues for you. I would suspect that we have a lot of folks that may have those types of situations coming up. A lot of lightning, a lot of rain. We say this a lot when we talk about severe weather. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want, I know we're in this age where everyone's got a phone, everyone's got a TikTok or an Instagram. You want to go out there and get the best picture, the best video. Do not, please just don't do it. Not the best idea at all. You want to stay inside, stay safe, get away from windows. Basement, obviously, you hear us talk about that all the time, and the lowest point of your home. If you're home alone, your parents maybe haven't come back from work yet, you're by yourself, you know, a younger kid, you just want to get away from all the windows and just stay safe. Hey, Erica, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Burke Lakefront just gusted to 79 miles per hour. New tornado warning now for the east side of Cuyahoga County. This does include portions of Geauga County as well as Lake counties. We have an extremely strong radar signature showing rotation, basically moving just south of the Euclid area. At this point in time, it looks like this couplet is moving to the southwest at only 25 miles per hour. So if we are going to put this track on, you will see that it will put this into areas like Cleveland Heights within the next about 5 to 10 minutes or so, Mayfield Heights by about 4:37, Russell about 4:53, Bainbridge about 5:01, and out towards the Auburn area about 5:09. But again, I have to stress, Burke Lakefront did just gust to nearly 80 miles an hour. So if you are receiving that WIA alert probably on your phone, or that emergency alert where your phone is basically telling you, hey, we've got winds up to 80 miles per hour possible, you really need to get into a safe place, because this could potentially be a life-threatening situation.
We can keep Erica's mic open there too. Erica, we were just talking about this rotation over the lake, right? And now it has come on shore. And so that's why we were on the air saying, hey, I know you're not in the warning yet, but east side of Cleveland, north and east of downtown Cleveland, Euclid, Brattonall, all the heights that you mentioned, Shaker Heights, Cleveland Heights, University Heights, also as you head over towards Mayfield Heights as well, all those areas are underneath this tornado warning. And you know, this is we never like to see severe weather, but this is almost a worst case scenario here at 20 minutes after 4 o'clock. And we're not just talking about folks heading to and from work. We've got a lot of summer activities. We've got football practices. I got a couple of texts from my buddy saying, hey, we're outside of the football practice right now. We just got an alert from our phone. What do we do? Well, you got to head inside. You don't want to be outside. And a great rule of thumb, thunder, lightning, you see it, you hear it, head inside anyway, because sometimes that can affect you even if you're not in the heart of this storm. So thankfully nowadays, most everyone has this. They have a way to get that warning information. And what we always say, if you get a warning on your phone, courtesy of the First Alert Weather app, you know we're going to be on the air for you, especially if it's a tornado warning. And in this case, we were on the air really largely even before that happened, a little bit after 3:30, in anticipation of what will likely be a very busy 4 to 5 p.m. hour, and potentially here even heading beyond that, because these storms are going to move into Portage County, into Geauga County, into Ashtabula County, into Mahoning, Trumbull County. So we're going to be on this for its entirety here. Again, just be smart. We've got a couple of tornado warnings out there. Cuyahoga County right now sliding through southeast Cuyahoga County. Let's reset this just a little bit and give you an idea of what's going on. I'm going to track the worst part of this storm, which right now is just off to the north and east of Brexel. I'm going to give you some city names here. This storm is moving south and east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So city name is read off here. now is the time to get to your safe spot. Hudson, 432, Streetsboro, 440. So that's in the next 10 to 20 minutes. On into Kent, Ravenna, closer to 450, and then eventually Newton Falls if this were to hold together. Right now, the worst part of this storm is crossing into northern Summit County. I would suspect that the Weather Service will issue a tornado warning for likely Portage County coming up in the next 10 to probably 12 minutes, and they'll extend this warning likely until about 5:30 because I'm seeing enough out of this storm that does warrant that. I'm going to zoom in and show you the worst part of this storm right now. It is basically on the Summit County, Cuyahoga County line. So now we're east of I-77. The weather from Brecksville back up to Independence, back up into Cuyahoga County, or I should say Cuyahoga Heights, is improving. But the weather to the east is not. So Macedonia, you guys are right in the line of fire here. This storm's about to cross over I-271. So, hey, Oakwood Village, our folks at Operation Backpack, if they haven't already, now's the time to get to the safe spot there during our Operation Backpack here that we have through the afternoon. Now's the time because this is going to cross over 271. There's Boston Heights, there's Macedonia, there's Bedford just to the south of Bedford here. Really along Route 8 as well. Look at that spin there, and certainly that very strong damaging wind gusts, almost a little bit of a microburst signature, but I think it's a little bit more than that because it's not going away. A lot of times a microburst will just drop all the rain, the hail falls out of the storm and then spreads out and then it's gone. This is not that type of signature. This signature is continuing its very strong winds signature that we've been dealing with throughout the afternoon. A lot of rain, here it is right there. So it's not raining yet on 271. It's about to rain very hard. And then 480 extended out towards the Twinsburg area. So Macedonia to Twinsburg. That's Route 82 that comes out of Brecksville. Route 82 between Brecksville and Macedonia, Twinsburg, and then on into Aurora. Notice I'm now saying some Portage County towns. You guys should also be on the lookout for this as this storm now rides its way basically right along 480 with very strong winds. Boy, I see this signature, and we're talking 70, 80 mile an hour winds, no question with this storm. And we've already had evidence. Folks have been texting me from the Parma area, even from the West Park area as well. Damage in their neighborhoods, down trees, some businesses, roofs have been caved in as well. In the Parma area, we've been talking about that as we continue our coverage. We're on the air here, obviously, for the rest of the afternoon. We're on the air right now due to a tornado warning for Cuyahoga, Lake, Geauga, Summit counties until 5 p.m. And I do think we'll probably eventually, Sam, add Portage County to that list, although we haven't just yet.
Yeah, we'll be watching that very closely. Multiple areas of rotation on First Alert Doppler this afternoon. Meteorologist Erica Page driving the radar here, and that tornado warning in effect for Cuyahoga County, Geauga County, and Lake County until 5 o'clock here. And this is prime commuter time, so please delay your travel until this passes. All right, I'm hearing that we have to send it out to Oakwood Village to check in with Brian Duffy. Brian, what are you guys seeing out there?
Yeah, Sam, thank you. What we've seen here in just like the last 30 seconds is a tremendous amount of rain and wind. Really hard for you to see, I think, from here, but we're staying as safe as we can here. Levin Furniture and Mattress, the people here, we were here for Operation Backpack. As you can see, the lights just went out and back on here in this facility. They've done a good job getting us as safe as possible. No basement here, but they have us in the back in a break room, and we can hear the lightning and the thunder just crashing through the area right now. Of course, we all got away from those big windows out there. There are probably a dozen customers or more that are in the back in that break room right now. Everybody's staying as safe as possible, but you can hear the rain pounding on the roof here. You can hear the wind whipping through the area. Again, safe as possible as we can be. Not quite sure if you could hear that thunder going through the area, but up until about 45 seconds ago, everyone was kind of walking around here saying, why are we in a tornado warning? What's going on? And then all of a sudden it just came through, and it came through in a big time hurry. Anything else breaks from here, we'll be right back out. Reporting live in Oakwood, Brian Duffy, 19 News.
Yeah, our coverage for Operation Backpack now turning into live weather on the ground, right? Because this is impacting a big portion of Cuyahoga County. It's already impacted most of the county, but if you're in Solon or out in Chagrin Falls, this is coming your way very, very soon. Please seek shelter. Here are the times. Solon just minutes away from this moving in. And again, there's a ton of rotation with this storm. That tornado potential is there. Please seek shelter immediately. Streetsboro 449, eventually moving into Auburn Township of 451, Ravenna 506, and Garrettsville 516. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings out here as well, because we do have that potential for damaging winds. A couple more areas where I would highly recommend seeking shelter immediately: Hudson, Twinsburg. You know, I've got reports from northern Summit County out ahead of the storm that the sun is actually out and it's like beautiful right now, but these are coming your way. In northern Summit County, they are just to your west, have already moved through Northfield. So Reminderville, Twinsburg, Hudson, please head to your safe spot immediately. I don't like what I'm seeing on our reflectivity product either. When you can see, you know, rotation on a reflectivity product and you can see little notches here and there along a line, that does become concerning, right? You can see Erica a few minutes ago, she was circling all the areas of rotation she was seeing out over the lake. These storms are turning, guys, so please take them seriously. Twinsburg, Aurora, seek shelter immediately. Erica?
Yeah, we're getting quite a few, not only storm reports coming in. We've got Avon 8-inch tree down in Lorain County. We have, I'm trying to go through some of these here. West 152nd and Lorain, large tree down across the roadway. So these storms are packing a punch. Regardless of if you are seeing any tornado type activity, remember, these are going to be very hard to visually see. If there is a tornado on the ground, which you can tell that we still have that observed tag on the storm that's moving through northern Summit County, the far southeastern portion of Cuyahoga County, the purple box means that this is an observed tornado. We're seeing things on radar, picking up this debris and basically alluding to the fact that we are getting some type of touchdown somewhere along that line that's really helping to loft a lot of that debris upwards into the atmosphere. That's what we use, what we call this correlation coefficient type of a product to kind of help show us where we are potentially seeing some of that debris being lofted. And if I turn off the lightning, you can likely find where we have some of these little pockets here. That is likely right there where we may be seeing some better opportunities for us of having potentially some debris, potentially, you know, any tornado type issues. We've got a report coming in from North Olmsted of telephone poles down, multiple cars with wires on top, potential people that could be entrapped in this. So you really need to take this line of storm seriously as it continues to roll through. We've easily measured winds gusting upwards of 70, almost 80 miles per hour. So this is a very dangerous situation for you to be in today. If you do not have to be out on the roads driving, especially for folks, say, Lake County down towards Geauga County, even out towards Portage County, as this line continues to race down to the south and to the east, I would highly suggest delaying any travel and making sure that you are in a safe spot until this continues to pass. Jason.
Yeah, Erica, great information there. And echoing what Erica just said, yeah, if you don't have to be out and about this afternoon, hunker down. If you're heading out to the grocery store, maybe wait, because it's not going to be long. These storms will blow through and things will improve by most likely by 6:30, 7 o'clock, perhaps even earlier than that, depending on where you are. Just to recap here, 31 minutes after 4 o'clock, Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas here alongside meteorologist Erica Page and Samantha Roberts. We had Brian Duffy also helping us out with coverage out at our Operation Backpack. We've got 2 different tornado warnings in effect right now for 2 different parts of the storm. The first one for Cuyahoga and Summit goes for another 15 minutes until 4:45. That's the southern edge of the storm, now north of Akron. That's the one that's got the purple box. That's the one that has the observed tornado tag on it. Now, observed meaning we've seen enough data on our radar and our debris tracker for a tornado observed tag. And not necessarily, it hasn't been spotted by weather spotters or law enforcement, but we've seen enough to where we've got something going on. The other one to the north is Doppler radar indicated that spin there is in northeastern Cuyahoga County, now making its way into far western Geauga County and far southwestern Lake County. To be clear, the majority of Lake County is not underneath this tornado warning. We are talking about the southern edge of Lake County, and these storms are sliding south and east. Now, this storm has a history of producing some pretty wild weather and some damage. We've got video. This is from earlier today, just most likely in the last hour or so, from the Westlake area. And you can see that we've got a lot of downed trees there, and that's causing power outages. At last report, we got a little power line on the ground. Obviously, if you see something like that, stay as far away as possible. Sam, thank you. They've extended this tornado warning. We'll talk about that in a moment. You can see here this video from Westlake. This is earlier today, and you can see all the blowing around. We've got power lines on the ground, trees down, more than 20,000 people without power. There you see another shot there. Boy, this is not stuff you want to be driving through. This is out in the Westlake area. Not good either. And we've got more video here into the station too. You can see the very low visibilities, high winds, a lot of rain, most likely some high water issues as well. These are some pictures from Lorain, and you can see certainly there's some minor stuff, but certainly some down trees. We also have some pictures out of North Olmsted as well. This is video from North Olmsted earlier, and again, that's a very common sight. Those plants are going to have a hard time in this type of weather. We actually were also on the air earlier, about 3:30, looking at our Avon Crushers cam and getting some really good video there of this storm rolling in, and the camera went basically kaput and most likely suffered some damage. Whether it fell, whether something hit it, we don't know, but we lost that signal, and it was giving us a pretty good view here. So let's go ahead and reset, because Sam had mentioned we have a new tornado warning. Let's get you the specifics on that. Basically, this is the warning that was moving out of Cuyahoga County. And I said, about 5-10 minutes ago, that we would likely get a tornado warning for Portage County. Alas, that's exactly what's happening now. That's until 5:15 here for basically what they're doing here is they're combining these two storms into now one warning for Geauga and Portage County as this part of the storm slides off to the, actually this is just for the Menor-storm, the south of Menor-storm. We'll see what they do with the one out in the Akron area, but this one here, tornado warning Geauga and Portage until 5:15 there on this cell that is moving basically now out of areas of Cuyahoga County, and the track here on this storm will take it off to the south and east. Let's go ahead and move some of these things here and you can get some timing. Auburn here, 4:45, Garrettsville, 5:04, on into Southington, 5:13, Newton Falls at about 5:20, and then Warren after that. So a lot going on here, several areas of rotation. We'll turn on our debris tracker again just to see if we see anything. Don't love what I'm seeing there. We're going to zoom in here on this particular part of the storm right there, and that's right in Twinsburg. This is our correlation coefficient, or our debris tracker. Don't love what I see right along Route 91 and 82 right in Twinsburg. If you're in Twinsburg, or certainly east of Twinsburg, between Twinsburg and Aurora along Route 82, get to your safe spot. That also includes down towards the Streetsboro area, 480 as well. Here's a live look out at Fairport Harbor. This is in Lake County. Boy, if I didn't know any better, that looks like a landfalling hurricane looking out there at Fairport Harbor. Just take a look at this. And that's obviously very strong winds, most likely 50 plus miles per hour, gusting up to possibly 60 or 70. We've got rain wrapped, you can't see anywhere because of all the rain. And that really is quite a shot there out at Fairport Harbor. There right along the lake shore with all that rain and all that wind coming on shore. So come back to our maps here real quick. You can see there's Twinsburg. That's where I'm seeing a little bit of a debris signature. This debris signature will continue to slide south and east. And what it means is if we do have a tornado out there, this tornado is reaching the ground and it's spinning around debris. Could be leaves, could be dirt, could be potentially tree limbs, could be parts of, patio furniture, whatever the case may be. It can pick it up and it can move it around, and then First Alert Doppler has the ability to differentiate what you see that's not rain, and it could also be a little bit of hail too, but I think for the most part here we could be talking about debris. And now you see how this actual circle has moved off, and this is future view that just also is showing a lot of action here. Let's go back here. That's our hour by hour. We can send it back here into the Weather Center and get a little bit more from meteorologist Erica Page. Erica, again, multiple tornado warnings. Debris signatures are out there as well as this line of rain and storms moves south and east.
Yeah, we're hearing a lot of reports coming in. Solon, Ohio Fire and Rescue saying Willoughby Hills Fire Department just reported that they lost the roof off of their station, basically as a result of these strong winds that have been coming into the area. Just to show you again, we're really monitoring two different areas. We still have the tornado warning a little closer to the Chesterland area. So if you're in Chesterland and you still have power and you're still watching us, you are certainly getting the brunt of this storm. If you're out towards the Newbury area, Munson especially, expect conditions to deteriorate very quickly. We are estimating that winds in some of these spots could be upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour at least. So regardless of if there is a tornado in there, you're not going to be able to see it because there is so much moisture. A lot of that circulation would be completely wrapped up with rain. But please be mindful of that. And downstream, places like Clarendon, you look a little farther down towards the Burton area as this continues to slip off towards the south and to the east. Please make sure, I know you're not necessarily in that tornado warning just yet, but I would like you to be in that tornado safe place because I don't like the way this signature has basically held very well over the last several minutes, and it likely will continue to hold together decently well because we don't have a lot of these additional showers and thunderstorms out ahead of it that could potentially weaken the circulation. So we have the northern part of Geauga County, we have the southern part of Geauga County, just moved through the Twinsburg area. If you are in Manaway, out towards Garrettsville, Parkman, even the Bainbridge area just to your south, that's where some of the worst of the activity is now. These are some areas that we're really watching because you can just tell where we have some of that brighter signature of where you have a little bit more of those brighter colors coming in, indicating the better potential for that rotation in the thunderstorm. Sam.
Because, you know, we started tracking these thunderstorms when they were in the western basin of Lake Erie. So obviously a lot of areas are now in the clear. Avon Lake, Rocky River, Westlake, Bay Village, just in that cleanup phase. By the way, we have multiple reports of tree damage on the west side. So if you were in that area, be careful driving around, even though the worst of the weather has passed. There's going to be some debris on the roadways, and some of it is pretty significant debris, large trees down, a lot of reports of that, and power lines down. Please stay away from any live power lines. First Alert Doppler, just a quick check. There's that active tornado warning in effect for Geauga County. Chesterland in a tornado warning right now, but it's the leading edge of the thunderstorm that we're most concerned about, the storms that are currently moving towards Hiram and Parkman. Please seek shelter in these areas immediately as your tornado warning in the southern end of Geauga County has about 35 minutes left on it. So lowest level of your home, most interior space in Parkman, in Hiram, and Garrettsville on the southern end of that warning, but please seek shelter there immediately. Tornado detection signature observed north of Chesterland. Okay, here's Chesterland on First Alert Doppler, and we're seeing significant indications of a tornado potentially on the ground on First Alert Doppler. So if you are in Chesterland, safe space immediately. If you're out ahead of it in Newbury, Burton, Bainbridge, just a few more areas where we need to seek shelter immediately. Let's send it over to Jason with an update.
Yeah, good stuff there, Sam. And again, we are all about here what's happening as far as the multiple potential tornadoes and what we're looking at. We're using our technology. Not only here, this is the debris tracker here. What we're always looking for on something like this is anything that stands out. You can see in the Chesterland area, Sam was just talking about it. If you're in Chesterland, get to your safe spot as we speak. I hate seeing that. Right there, you can see this area of basically orange color. It stands out from every place else. That indicates where we likely have something on the ground. So that we are talking far southern Lake County moving into northern sections here of Geauga County. That's why we're on the air with this tornado warning, because when you see something like this on our radar, that leads me to believe, hey, we've got something. It's not just the look of potentially the heavy rains and also on the radar. This could actually be producing a tornado. So tornado warning, Geauga, Cuyahoga, and Lake until 5. And this is the area we're watching. So really moving out of Cuyahoga as we speak. This is moving basically right along 322. So if you live in and around the Chesterland area along 322, especially east of Chesterland, get to your safe spot right now. This is our Velocity product. This looks inside the storm. Remember, red means winds blowing away from our Cleveland radar. Green means winds blowing towards our radar. And wherever you see the very bright colors there, right along 322, that's where we could have winds in excess of 60 or 70 miles per hour. That's one part of this storm. Now, we've also got another southern part of this storm, too, that is very active as well, as we've been tracking this line of rain and thunder moving basically into northern Ohio here over the last hour or so. You can see this bright color right here. Now we're heading south. This is west of Manaway. So if you're in Manaway, Shalersville, there's Streetsboro. Twinsburg is there. Aurora is also on this. And what we're measuring right now, the wind speeds in this storm, 70 miles per hour. And it's likely moving even faster than that because that's the winds inside the storm. And when you actually consider the storm is moving, it probably is even moving. The winds are a little bit faster than that. There's Streetsboro. There's Hudson. Hudson, you're still getting pounded with rain and wind, but the worst of the storm is passing over you as we speak. So Streetsboro over to Shalersville. This is right basically along the county line there. Really, when you talk about Solon over to Hudson, we're talking about northern sections of Portage County, southern sections of Geauga County. Let's go ahead and track that moving from Hudson over to Shalersville. So Shalersville here in the next 7 minutes. There you see the ETA 449, Garrettsville 457, and then if this storm were to hold together, we're talking about Champion and Warren a little bit after 5. That's off into Trumbull County. So the good news here, as we take a wider picture here, is that the conditions in Cleveland are much improved. Now, we still do have some storms off to the west. What are these green areas right now? What are these green areas? Those are flood advisories. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of flooding issues. That's kind of the secondary concern. It's rare that I ever say that because flooding is a big, big issue here and typically causes the biggest problems. When we've got multiple tornado warnings, that kind of takes precedence. We do have a, did you say a live picture right now of downtown Cleveland? Is that what you were saying? I'm sorry, the control room. Oh, got it. We do have a lot of power outages as well today. We had at least 20,000. Are we going to send it over to Nicole for more on that? Nikki, do you have that for us?
85,000 power outages right now, according to First Energy. Right now, the map, when I look at the number of outages lit up on the west side of Cleveland. So we're talking about Avon Lake, Sheffield, Westlake, North Ridgeville, lit up. 85,000 customers out at this point. But we know lights were flicking on and off when we saw Brian Duffy reporting down in Oakwood Village, which is south and east. I think we're able to check back out with him. He's been reporting there live with Operation Backpack, and quickly it turned into storm team coverage. We're going to hope to check in with him and what he saw out there as the storm was really ripping through out there at Levin Furniture in Oakwood Village. But 85,000 customers out. Significant amount of outages on the west side of Cleveland, Jason.
Yeah, good stuff there, Nikki. Good information at least. So if you did lose power, remember, that's why it's so important. We're streaming our coverage right now on our First Alert weather app, as well as if you go to our website, cleveland19.com, and our Facebook page as well. So we've got several places where we're on the air right now for you to make sure you get the information. And one of the things we always say before a big weather event, especially if it comes overnight, is be sure that your devices are charged up for situations just like this. There's nothing worse than trying to get our weather coverage and you don't have power. So hopefully devices charged up and you have a way to get that information across. So again, control room, if we could switch that tornado warning until 5:15, because we do have a warning until 5:15. Thank you, just so folks know. And that 5:15 warning is for Portage County and also for Geauga County. So we do have the warning until 5, but our longest warning, so we'll be on the air straight for sure, at least until 5:15. So we've got several areas that we're watching right now on First Alert Doppler. These storms formed a little bit after 3 o'clock. One moved in over the lake, then another cell moved in from the west. So let's take a look here, and you can see this is our velocity product here. There's Chardon, there's Middlefield. This line of severe weather, you can see a little spin up there. Certainly some very strong signatures there of very strong winds. And again, yeah, we could have a tornado on the ground, could be a relatively weak tornado, EF0, EF1, but regardless, these are very strong winds, and the strong winds have caused big problems across northern Ohio today with all the power outages, with all the trees down, with the confirmed damage in and around West Park, Parma, Westlake. Basically, everyone here is getting touched. And when these were coming on shore, one of the things we said is, oh boy, this is not good, because we are talking about a very populated area. We're not talking about the fringes of our area that's basically not many folks live there. This is a different situation when you talk about something like this. So there's your wall of rain and a lot of wind. You see a little gray there as well. That indicates where we might be getting also potentially some pea-size or even quarter-size, more likely, hail, though we have not heard many hail reports. These have just been rain and very strong winds. So multiple tornado warnings in effect right now. There's one, there's two. And this main line, what tends to happen as these storms roll through, it starts to almost connect itself, and it starts to almost, the main edge will start to spin up, these weak little spin ups here. And you can even see a little bit of spin in the general movement of this storm as it slices its way through southeastern Cuyahoga County, now making its way eventually here into portions of Geauga, Portage County, and then here in a few moments, most likely into Ashtabula and Trumbull County as well, as these storms are moving fast enough. Now, best tornado potential, yeah, is certainly in the circle here. Right along this main edge, we get all these little spin-ups, 1, 2, 3, 4 spin-ups. And as Sam mentioned, we can stop this for a moment, Eric, and take a live look at our radar. We also want to look to see where we've got those notches. And those notches sometimes are inflow from the environment into the storm. And that's when the storm starts to wrap itself up a little bit. You see a little notch here outside of the Champion area. Another one there just south of Middlefield. Another one down to the south there. This line is moving fairly fast, 35, 40 miles per hour as it moves through northern Ohio here. And we also want to look inside the storm here. Where are the bright colors? The bright colors indicate where we've got a lot of wind issues and very strong winds. You can see it here, Middlefield to Chardon. There we've got some strong winds just west of Middlefield. Also, as you head down to the south, this is moving basically right along the county line of Portage and Geauga counties there, north of Kent, north of Ravenna. There you see a little brightness there just north of the Ravenna area, and perhaps even here, Erica, a little bit of a notch there. Downtown Akron's getting pummeled with rain and also a lot of wind as we speak right now. Easily winds 50, 60 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning there as well for downtown Akron, and we can never count out or discount the potential of a tornado there as well. Certainly nasty there north of Ravenna, which is actually outside of the tornado warning area. All right, meteorologist Samantha Roberts is also here. We have team coverage this afternoon, Erica, Sam, and me. Let's go over to Sam for more on what's happening.
Yeah, getting a ton of damage reports this afternoon. We just got something in from our reporter Katie Tursek. She's saying that there's hardly any cell phone service where she is, and in the Lakewood area there's debris and trees down everywhere from the storms that moved through. So that gives you an idea of the kind of conditions you can expect in places like Parkman, where we're waiting on the storm to arrive, Nelson and Hiram. Again, this is knocking on your back door. Please seek shelter immediately. These are not, just mean storms that came through. I mean, there's so many damage reports back to the west. We now know that these are causing damage and potential tornadoes. So something to take seriously as that tornado warning remains in effect for Geauga County and northern Portage. It's really at north and northeastern Portage for another 24 minutes on that. All of this is moving east. So if you're out ahead of it, let's say you're in Trumbull County, you're in Southington or surrounding community, Mecca, this is all moving in your direction. Ashtabula County, this is moving in for you as well. Back to the west, we still have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, so it's not like we've forgotten about you down here in Ashland, Mansfield, Worcester, or even in Canton. It's just that the tornadic activity is on the northern end of the system. But definitely, if you're in the severe thunderstorm warning area, which now Canton under a severe thunderstorm warning, Worcester under a severe thunderstorm warning, and Mansfield, we are waiting on those storms to move in for you. Those are not tornadic at this time, but we certainly can't rule it out. Highest area of urgency is really out here in northern Portage and now kind of southeastern Geauga County. So weather's still bad in Chardon and in Chesterland for sure, but this is the area, this red polygon, that we really need to be heading to our safe spot immediately. Parkman, lowest level of your home, most interior space, and Nelson. We have another 24 minutes on that tornado warning. So if you're in Garrettsville, if you're in Nelson, please head to your safe spot immediately. I want to send it over to Nicole Versansky, who has an update for us.
We've got some more of that damage video coming in. Sam, we've got some new video coming in. This is from Lakewood. You can see the winds just whipping around, that tree in the background falling down A lot of trees down we're hearing in the Lakewood area. I believe we also have some new video coming in from Westlake. If we can get to that video as well. Again, it looks like the same video from Lakewood here. Again, the winds just whipping around. I did just get another update though from Ohio Edison and the Illuminating Company. Between the two of them, more than 220,000 customers in our area without power now. Apparently a lot of damage out there, a lot of power lines down. And when you see video like this from Lakewood, you can absolutely see why. We've gotten reports from damage in Westlake, in Avon, in North Ridgeville, all over our area. And Sam, I'll get back to you with your coverage.
Yeah, no power in a lot of areas. I just received a report from Rocky River. No power there, no power most of North Olmsted as well. Estimated time of restoration is 7:30. So these are causing significant damage as they move through. They're knocking down trees, power lines. That tornado warning to the south there in northern Portage and southeastern Geauga County. Here's the timing on that from meteorologist Erica Page. This is going to be moving into Garrettsville within the next few minutes. I mean, you have about 2 minutes to head to the lowest level of your home, away from your windows. Champion 514 out in Trumbull County, Warren 518, Wethersfield 531 if it holds together. And I think it will, Jason, because I mean these have not really slowed down or weakened much at all since they moved into the west side.
No, not really. I do have a little bit of good news, though, Sam. I know that's hard to hear right now because we've had a lot of very active weather. But the original tornado warning, the one that expires at 5 o'clock, will be allowed to expire. That is for Lake and Geauga County here. That one here, because we've really largely lost the signature of a tornado. So they're going to allow that to expire at 5 o'clock. That's a bit of good news. So really, the one area we're watching, don't love all this wind out towards the Ashtabula area as well, kind of crashing on shore. But the one area that we're still watching is until 5:15. So Ashtabula, Geauga, and Lake until 5:15. That's a severe thunderstorm warning with winds possibly up to 70 miles per hour as well, crashing on shore right now into Ashtabula County. And there's the tornado warning information. Just move it up just a little bit, Erica. We have our lower third there. Thank you. Geauga and Portage until 5:15 there. This is the one really that is worth watching, in addition to that severe thunderstorm warning up into Ashtabula County. So let's get back down here into Geauga and Portage County, because that warning is until 5:15. The one to the north here, this polygon, not as concerned about it. Still some nasty weather, but it's not really providing us that signature anymore. So we're talking between Garrettsville and Ravenna right now. That's the worst of the storm. We've got a couple of areas that we're watching for very strong winds and potential rotation. The rotation would be right along the leading edge. Now, a lot of times when you see, it's radar signatures or velocity products like this in other parts of the country, you've got one storm kind of by itself, a little supercell that's spinning. We're not really seeing that with this. As typical with our type of severe weather and our types of tornadoes we typically get, will be on a long line of rain and storms here, almost a complex of storms, if you will. And within that storm, especially the leading edge, is where we get those spin-ups and where we get those possible tornadoes. So every storm has basically evolves. It's got a lifespan, and that's what's happening with this one. It's becoming very much more of a damaging wind event with a few areas of potential rotation. As I mentioned, just north of Ravenna, also between Garrettsville and Ravenna, Newton Falls, Palmyra, you guys are up next. A lot of rain, a lot of wind in and around the Cuyahoga Falls area, also into downtown Akron getting hit with rain and wind. Greater Cleveland is certainly improving. Thankfully here, from our flash flooding standpoint, is that this line of rain and storms is moving fast enough to where, yeah, we'll get some high water issues quickly, but shouldn't be a huge issue with our flooding scenario. So there we go right now, where we are really watching this one tornado warning there for Portage and Geauga County. Let's go ahead and track, if we could, get an updated track on this, Erica, and we can kind of give folks a heads up. And as we've said a lot this afternoon, this is the whole, we're actually going to track the whole squall line. We're not going to pinpoint an exact area, just because the reality of the situation is it's likely that the whole line is creating these spin-ups as it slides south and east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. All right, Rootstown, your time is up. You're certainly under the gun right now with the worst weather. Then we get a little bit of a break as we head into the Warren area at about 5:20, and then Wethersfield, Austintown, Youngstown, closer to 5:45. And I would suspect that this line continues to the Youngstown area, potentially as a damaging straight line wind event. More than 200,000 customers without power here this afternoon across northern Ohio. So I've gotten a few texts from people, from friends who don't have power, who are watching our stream this afternoon. So that's what we try to do for you, to be sure we're there wherever you may be, wherever you get the information. So if you do have power right now, I'd plug all your devices in. So in case you lose power, you can then still get the information and still have your line of communications out to get all the information. Warren here in the next 20 minutes, and then eventually, as we mentioned, off into Youngstown. In fact, this will largely move out of the 19 News viewing area closer to 5:15 or 5:30. Now, we do still have some action off to our west. No tornado warnings, but basically every county here is under a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, the stuff out west has produced some flooding. Actually, they're all producing flooding. You can see these big green boxes. Those are flood advisories, meaning, hey, we've got high water issues, we've got street flooding, low-lying areas, not great, flood-prone areas. So it's, again, a good reminder to also be sure to turn around. Don't drown on this, because these storms and the water, it doesn't take much water to potentially wipe your car away and to carry it off. And the same goes for walking. You don't want to walk through a whole bunch of water, because that can also rush and take your feet out from under you. It only takes a couple of feet of rushing water for that to happen. All right, we've got live pictures right now of a building collapse. Oh boy. And give me an idea here, control room, of where we are.
West 25th and Marvin.
West 25th and Marvin. This was from a fire earlier in the, is this the Ohio City area? Am I correct there? Ohio City, there it is. So that collapsed, and there's a, looks like a telephone pole or a power pole there on the ground, or a light pole potentially there as well. This is out in the Ohio City area. So we had a structure fire there a while back, and now these are live pictures of that building actually collapsing. So yeah, that is quite a scene there out in the Ohio City area due to these storms that have rolled through northern Ohio this afternoon. Again, that is in Ohio City. A building collapse. A structure was impacted by fire, and today that rain and wind came down, and it was just too much for that building that was previously damaged to handle. So we're coming up here on 5 o'clock. Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas here, along with meteorologist Sam Roberts and Erica Page. We've got a destructive tag on this particular storm. And what that means is that we're not talking about a run-of-the-mill severe thunderstorm warning. This one could be a little bit worse. Hail up to an inch. Wind speed, that's a big deal, 80 miles per hour. This is for Geauga County, and this is also for Lake County as these storms move through northern Ohio. Let's go ahead, Erica, and turn on our velocity product. You can see where the worst of the winds are with this particular cell. There it is right now, basically up into Ashtabula County. You can see it there, right along Interstate 90 with this severe thunderstorm warning. And then also as you head south of Chardon. But boy, you see those very bright colors there around Ashtabula, right along Interstate 90. We do also have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. That goes until, I believe, 7 p.m. Obviously, that was warranted here with all these severe thunderstorms that are now moving through the area here at 5 o'clock. Tornado warning in effect, Lake, Geauga, and Portage counties until, actually, Lake is no longer included on that, I believe. This is just for Portage and Geauga counties until 5:15. For this area right there, the potential is there for a tornado. Now, earlier in the evening, or I should say earlier in the afternoon, really, we had a confirmed tornado warning. That was for Cuyahoga County. A lot of damage reports coming in from there as well. And this one is just a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning here as it moves now eventually here out of Geauga and Portage counties, and it will move into basically portions of Trumbull County. And as of now, the Weather Service has not re-warned for this yet. They may, but as of now, they have not done that. And again, we talked about that very potentially destructive severe thunderstorm warning that in and around the Ashtabula County area as well. As you head farther off to the west, things are calming down a little bit. Erica, do we have any debris on anything down here? Just want to turn on our debris tracker there and see if we have anything that may stick out for us here. We've got a lot of lightning out there as well. There's the Garrettsville area. There's the Parkman area. If we have anything maybe right there, there, moving out of portions of Portage County between Parkman and Garrettsville. There's Portage County. There's Champion right there. So this is now moving basically into Trumbull County. No warning has been issued yet for Trumbull County. A little bit of activity down towards the Shalersville area again. But what our debris tracker does that you're seeing right here is it differentiates between what's rain and what's not rain, meaning dirt, tree limbs, debris. We've also got a lot of flooding out there. That's what the big green box is. Flood advisories all over the place across northern Ohio here this afternoon due to all the moisture in these storms. So 5:15 on the warning. That is again for portions of Portage and Geauga County. There are southern sections of Geauga County, northern sections of Portage County, Cuyahoga County, basically the all clear here right now. That is certainly good news. And then even off to the west along the lakeshore, things are looking much better. Let's send it over to meteorologist Samantha Roberts. Also, Sam, it's been quite an afternoon, not unexpected. That's why we issued 19 first alert weather days. A lot of rain, a lot of wind, and unfortunately, we've had some reports, at least on the radar, of tornadoes.
Yeah, and we always want to alert you to the fact that it's possible, right? Because you don't want to go into your day carrying on with your outdoor plans and then all of a sudden it's raining and you didn't know, right? So we always want to give you that first alert with first alert weather days. You know, they have not extended, and Jason mentioned this, the tornado warning. They have not extended that from Geauga and Portage counties into Trumbull County. We will let you know if they do. But if you're out in Trumbull County, let's say you're in Cortland or Champion or Mecca, and I know we just had a big storm move through, but this line of storms to your west, there's the potential not only for tornadoes with that line of storms, but also damaging 80-mile-per-hour winds. That's like a low-end hurricane, right? 80 miles per hour. That is significant wind, can topple mobile homes and create serious issues. There are a ton of power outages to the west. So if you're out ahead of this, if you're in southern Ashtabula, if you're in Trumbull County, if you're around the reservoir, you have more very stormy weather on the way. Again, Cleveland and back to the west, things are relatively quiet now. There are some storms in the western basin of the lake, but they're coming into an environment that's been very worked over the last several hours. So the severe potential to the west is really decreasing. It's this area that of Trumbull County and extreme southeastern Geauga, northeastern Portage that we're most concerned about, especially southeastern Geauga. A lot of heavy rain with this, lightning, and the potential for tornadoes as that warning remains in effect, that tornado warning for about another 10 minutes. Jason?
Sam, good information there. And reiterating what's going on here and just kind of give you a little bird's eye view here. We've got a front coming in, and I want to draw it here where we've got our concern, right along basically the leading edge of these storms. Now, off to the north and to the west, as Sam mentioned, yeah, there are still some showers and thunderstorms, but the thinking is as these push on shore or push south and east, they're going to interact with an area that's already been basically used up. The energy's kind of been already absorbed by what we're dealing with right now. So this is basically the game right now. This is what's happening. This is kind of crunch time here across mainly our southern and eastern, southeastern, southern, and eastern counties here of northern Ohio. We do have that one tornado warning that we are still tracking here, but I do want to mention, I think the worst part of this storm, and maybe we'll go into Erica as she's monitoring our weather chat as well with the Weather Service. We're always, we do what we do, but the Weather Service are the folks who we work in concert with. As they issue the warnings, we can then get the information out. Now, sometimes, like earlier today, we saw a spin over the lake, and I said, hey, we don't have a tornado warning on this thing yet. But believe me, it's going to happen. And of course, in about 5 to 10 minutes, it did as it moved into eastern Cuyahoga County. So we do work in concert with them. So Erica is monitoring that chat. Erica, are they saying anything about the storm that we are now warned for, tornado with Geauga and Portage until 5:15? Any indication on whether that's going to be reissued for Trumbull, or is this basically going to be it?
So really, I think what's happening is the storm is outpacing where they have the warning box currently, and I think that is why they have continued on with some of these severe thunderstorm warnings across the area. Keep in mind, these are moving very quickly, but where you saw, and I will turn on our velocity product, or basically how we measure the winds inside of storms, I really think it's going to be that leading edge, and just to the west of the leading edge. I mean, you don't really have to go far beyond where you have that leading edge, maybe 9-10 miles miles at most, where the most impactful weather will be as this line continues to shift out towards the east. So please keep that in mind if you are out ahead of this and you're not potentially seeing some of this activity. We've also been monitoring some rotation with the storm that's just east of the Warren area. I did see a report come in from the Summit County. This is from Summit County, so a little farther to the south, where we have been monitoring some of those stronger gustier winds. The 911 call center in North Canton, Ohio has a broken window, no service or power. So these storms, despite them, not necessarily being in the area that we've really been discussing heavily, has certainly packed quite a bit of a punch. And this line that you see way out ahead of it, it's what we call an outflow boundary. So if I turn on just your regular radar, and I'm going to zoom this out, so give me just a second, you can actually see where that very faint green line sits. That's basically where all the energy from these storms earlier collapsed, pushed out this gust of cooler wind, and it may help to be this catalyst to see more activity popping up out ahead of it. It's why you see the severe thunderstorm warning for places like Millersburg up towards Canton, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they extended a little farther down to the south and to the east, because behind it you are still getting some gustier conditions. But where that outflow boundary has not moved through, it's out towards the east, and that's where we could then see not only the damaging wind threat out of this system, but also the isolated tornado risk out along and ahead of this line continuing to push eastward as it continues to move through the area.
Yeah. Good information there. So I would suspect that at 5:15 they will allow this warning to expire, and we basically are sounding the all clear, at least for the time being, for Portage and also Geauga County. We're going to stay on the air for our wall-to-wall coverage for the time being, though, because I am concerned about this leading edge, as Erica was talking about. So there's Canton, there's Akron. Akron, the worst, has passed you. Cleveland, certainly. Cuyahoga County, the worst, has passed Cuyahoga County. And I think when it's all said and done, there's going to be a lot of cleanup in and around Cuyahoga County that we're going to have to be following, and a lot of folks that may not have power for a while, and when they do, there's going to be some cleanup involved there with these storms that rolled through. But we are watching for several still areas of concern where you see those very bright colors there right along Interstate 76. This is the Newton Falls area. Also, as you head towards Ravenna, the worst is just to your south and east. These bright colors, there's the Randolph area. See right there? So there's your leading edge. Erica mentioned 5 to 10 miles or so away from that leading edge. That's most likely the worst weather right along the leading edge. And you can get a little spin up there right as the rain begins to move in, or at least the signature begins to move in, and then you get that really strong gust of wind as well. This is right along 224 north of the Randolph area, moving eventually here into portions of the Newton Falls area just south of Ravenna, and things are much, much better as you slide off to the west, but certainly right along the leading edge of this stuff. I'm just doing a little scan here to see if I see anything else. This is actually something we call a little outflow boundary right there. So out ahead of the main line of rain, you can see right now, you'll probably get a little bit right there. What this is, Canton, Massillon, you're seeing a little lowering of the clouds. The temp will drop about 10 to 15 degrees. The winds will pick up a little bit, and then the rain comes in. But frankly, the rain down here isn't all that bad. A lot of this energy has been absorbed with what's happening up to the north here, from Palmyra all the way up into the Warren area. Don't love what's going to happen here, crossing over Mosquito Reservoir there in the Cortland area. We likely have a little bit of hail south and east of Cortland. A lot of heavy rain in and around the Orwell area. We also have a lot of flood advisories throughout northern Ohio. So that's going to be a concern for the next couple of hours with all the water that has basically been squeezed out of the atmosphere. It's all deposited here on some on roads and on areas that are potentially a little lower flood-prone areas, localized flooding. Some of the roadways may be flooded, certainly areas that typically get hit hard when it does rain this heavily. Not a ton of thunder in this at this point, but still not ruling that out, that we can't have a good amount of thunder, but not as much as we were seeing earlier as these cells continue to shift off to the south and to the east. It looks like we still have the warning officially here. The worst of this weather now is moving basically into northwestern Mahoning County and far southwestern sections of Trumbull County, right where that bright spot is there, in and around, right around Route 76 and over towards Akron, much improved, and also into the Canton area as well. Control room, you did tell me something as far as what we're going to look at here. We've got one of the big stories here today, in addition to all the severe weather, is what it's producing: down trees, power outages. At last report, I believe, Chris and Tiffany, we had more than 200,000 without power. What's the latest now?
That number has actually increased as you look at this map to 244,000 without power. And again, this system is, everybody got a little bit of something, as you guys have been warning us since we've been on the air for, what, almost a couple of
About 2
hours?
hours right now,
About 2 hours now. I'm getting video in. We're sharing that video with you. If you can share your video safely and do so, please send it into our newsroom, 19 tips at WOAO.com. But again, Chris, these are just a look at the map right there. This doesn't even include all the, the trees down throughout the area.
Yeah, it's expected when a storm of this magnitude blows through this area. We won't know the readings on whether or not a tornado actually touched down until maybe tomorrow when the National Weather Service observes that. But Jason and the entire 19 First Alert weather team, they warned us last night that this storm system was coming through, and now you kind of see the result of all the wind damage that has blown through here in Northeast Ohio. Really not surprising with those totals right now, and sadly, they may increase throughout the evening.
Yeah, and if you look at the bottom right portion of your screen, if you're just joining us, this is West 25th and Marvin. This is in the Tremont area. This building actually caught fire last week, and the storm has forced it to collapse. We're going to continue to share this video with you, but again, that warning is for just a few more minutes, Jason, but obviously the aftermath is what we're really going to see as we get ready to share some more video with you all.
Yeah, good information there. Again, a lot of folks without power. That's why we stream our coverage as well. Very important to do that because we get it. If you lose power, you want to have a way to not only get your watches, warning information, especially tornado warning information, but also to get our coverage. We could just run a little informational crawl at the bottom of the screen, but we have the ability to give you a little bit more information than just your county and the warning. We try to be as in-depth as we can. And that's also another reason we issue 19 First Alert weather days. When we get data that doesn't look all that good, and in this particular case today was one of those days, and we pass along that information to you. Okay, we have 2 more minutes on this tornado warning. And again, for the most part, as Erica Page mentioned, basically the storm was racing out ahead of the warning information. We're going to stay on our wall-to-wall coverage through 5:30. We'll adjust at 5:30 if we have to continue on this. I'm hoping we won't have to, but we also have learned a pretty significant here too. If you're going to be out and about this evening, again, best idea is to probably stay in for a bit. But also we've learned that power is also out at Cleveland Hopkins Airport. That is not good, obviously, with folks flying in and out of the city. That's going to have a ripple down effect that'll likely affect flights coming into Hopkins and also some flights going out of Hopkins this evening. Cleveland Hopkins Airport is without power. We just learned that. Now, that is not good news. Now, I would assume that crews are very busy, so they're going to get out there, and that's probably priority one, is to get the international airport up and running again. And I'm sure they've got some backup power, but probably not enough to sustain something that happened this afternoon. We'll learn more about that as we move through the rest of our evening. So we're still watching this one tornado warning, but frankly, the worst has passed you here in Geauga and Portage County. So control room, we can drop that lower third of the tornado warning for Geauga and Portage County. It officially will be expiring in 1 minute, but we can sound the all clear here from the weather office. The worst of the weather now is moving towards the Youngstown area here and moving out of northern Ohio. A couple of showers and storms down through the Canton area. Look at all the individual severe thunderstorm warnings we have here as well. Let's take a look here at our future view that does show these showers and storms moving through here as we head through. This is 6:15. Notice our simulated radar. A lot of this stuff sliding to the south and to the east. Let's send it back over to meteorologist Samantha Roberts. Sam, still hanging on to that area of a little spin as it moves towards the Youngstown area.
Yeah, I really don't like these storms in Trumbull County. We have a new tornado warning in effect for southeastern Trumbull County. So if you are in the Sharon area or if you're in Brookfield, please seek shelter immediately. Lowest level of your home, putting as many walls between yourself and the outside of your house as you can. This is in effect until 5:30, and this is actually not even for the main line of storms. This is for a discrete severe thunderstorm that moved through Trumbull County. This is what initially moved through the area, and this is all out by itself. So it has nothing slowing it down and nothing to weaken it. You can see that hook there, winds flowing into the storm. Meteorologist Erica Page putting some great timestamps on here so you can see that this is moving towards western Pennsylvania. I mean, it's almost out of our area, but Brookfield is our coverage area, so we do want to let let you know that that tornado warning is in effect for southeastern Trumbull County until 5:30. So it's a short warning, obviously, because the storm is almost out of the county. Back to the west, though, we still have this massive line of severe storms. This is what prompted multiple tornado warnings over the last couple of hours. It's a huge line of storms that extends all the way basically from northern Stark County up into southeastern Portage, and then it goes up into Trumbull and Ashtabula County, where we have some very, very active weather at this time. You've got your discrete thunderstorm here, tornado warning for Brookfield in southeastern Trumbull County until 5:30, and then you have the main line of storms crossing over the reservoir, and with that you have the potential for tornadoes, although it's not warned at this time, but it does say tornado possible. It is a severe thunderstorm warning. Ashtabula County under that severe thunderstorm warning. 70-mile-per-hour winds with that. A destructive severe thunderstorm until 6:30. That's the warning for Ashtabula County. You see Crawford and Erie on here. That's western Pennsylvania. So this new severe thunderstorm warning is actually for Ashtabula County. 70-mile-per-hour winds possible with it. Tornadoes possible with it. And again, if you are in southeastern Trumbull County, Brookfield Township in particular, please seek shelter immediately. You can see some towns on here in Ashtabula County. Andover, you have just a few minutes to seek shelter from this. It's not a tornado warning, but the tornado potential is there, as well as the potential for 70-mile-per-hour winds. So at the very least, get away from exterior walls and exterior windows in Andover. And then again, it will move out into western Pennsylvania. Area of biggest concern, Jason, right now is of course that tornado warning in Brookfield in southeastern Trumbull. Look at that radar signature there.
All right, good information there, Sam. Yeah, this is in far eastern Trumbull County. Now, it's technically not in our market. That's Youngstown's market, but I know that folks in Trumbull County do get us on some cable systems out there, so we always want to provide that information as well. And we're kind of in extended weather coverage here just because of all the action. While we really don't have any tornado warnings in our area, technical area, we do have that warning for Trumbull County, which is a fringe county just out of our actual market until 5:30, and that's going to move into western Pennsylvania and no longer be even in the state. But we do have all these severe thunderstorm warnings. Holmes and Stark, that until 5:30. Ashland, Crawford, Richland, and Wayne until 5:30. And a severe thunderstorm warning for Portage and Trumbull until 5:45. Trumbull, the tornado warning, there you see it, until 5:30. So we're going to be on the air with our wall-to-wall coverage at least until 5:30. Now notice we also have all these green boxes there. Look at all the green boxes indicating where we've got flood advisories. Again, a lot of water. Dew points, humidity's way up today. And now all this moisture just got basically squeezed out and right onto the ground, and that is causing some high water issues as well. Also, you can see here at the bottom right of your screen, we've got that roof collapse there in Ohio City from a previously burned building, but the storms today were too much. We've had a lot of reports of downed trees, certainly a lot of power outages, and a lot of storm video right now. So let's take a look and give you a little recap of the worst weather here. Just south of Mansfield here, we're getting some rain, storms here, some heavier bursts of wind. I'm going to turn our velocity product on. Not too much. Okay, we've got some strong wind over towards the Worcester area there, just south and east of Worcester. That's moving through southern Wayne County, and very strong winds right now. Really a part of the main storm here, now moving off into Youngstown. This is the original kind of main leading edge, and then we've got that nasty spin out towards the Youngstown area. Sam really talked about it too. Okay, we talk about this line of rain, wind, maybe some spin ups along it, but what we always want to look out for are these little cells out ahead of that main line. They're going to spin like a top at times out ahead of this main line. We've got a lot of weather video here into the station this afternoon. Let's send it back over to the news desk. Tiffany and Chris.
All right, like we've been saying, this right here, I'm not even sure, I believe this is in the Lakewood area, Chris. This is what we've been getting in Lakewood, on Lake Road is what I'm being told. Look at how that tree is just completely blocking this, the road. Absolutely blocking. We've been hearing calls of trees coming down, high winds. We have video from all over the county.
And you see light lines also down. All right, so this is from Westlake right now, and I think we're going to see a tree falling in the background right there as this storm
Yep,
is
there it
making its
goes,
way through.
right there.
That's a closer vantage point right there, and you just tell the power of Mother Nature with the rain and the wind just soaking up that ground. That's the result right there. And as we get more video now.
Now, this is Westlake damage. This is from a photographer, Kevin Rands there. This is off of Hilliard in Columbia. You see the power line down, you see the tree, the winds, and those flames just erupting there in that street. In fact, when I called Westlake Police Department, they were so busy. They were getting hundreds of calls. There was a tree that went down in a home in the Westwood area, but they were inundated with calls. This was about an hour or so ago. I think what's interesting with this storm, Chris, is that almost every city is seeing a little bit of something. And so far, that's another video out of Westlake. So far, I don't believe we've had any reports of injuries, thank goodness, but there is plenty of damage out there as we speak.
And I think it serves a point too, Tiffany, when you see videos like this, as we look at in Lorain right now, some tree branches in the backyard. But that video earlier we saw of that transformer on the ground, it's important. When you see a storm like this, no need to go out.
No.
We appreciate these videos, but we all want you to take them safely, whether it's videos or photos. We're seeing more damage. Does that look like a piece of the roof?
It looks a little bit of the roof there in that area, and unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be dealing with a lot of damage, these types of situations. If you're just joining us, you see these are live pictures right now. This is a collapsed building there. Last week, this is West 25th and Marvin. This is in the Clark Fulton area. Last week, this building, Garganos, if I'm saying this right, caught fire. And then when that storm moved in, this is the result of what it looks like. It'll be interesting again to see, to refresh our memory, what that building looked like after the fire. But you could see that storm just moved everything and just brought everything down.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back to Jason for another update.
All right, thank you so much, Chris and Tiffany. We've got these storms moving through our southeastern counties. The worst of the weather right now is basically moving into portions of Trumbull County and also into Mahoning County, where we've got this line of rain and wind behind the actual tornado warning. But I tell you what, there's a lot going on in these storms. We'll throw in our debris tracker, and you can see we do have these little signatures here just kind of off to the west of Youngstown, a little bit more north and west of Youngstown. All these individual signatures could be a brief spin up. We'll turn our velocity product on, and again, showing the very strong winds, certainly not as bad as what's happening out in western Pennsylvania, but some nasty weather moving into the Youngstown area, moving through the Warren area, moving thankfully away from the Kent-Ravenna area. We do have that warning for Mahoning as well as Trumbull County. Now, meteorologist Erica Page is also standing by running our weather computers for us here this afternoon. Erica, while the tornado threat seems to be diminishing a little bit, until this front gets through, we really can't sound the all clear just yet.
Yeah, I mean, we still have some time before that leading edge continues to clear parts of northeast Ohio. It's getting through parts of Ashtabula County, Trumbull County right now, even down towards Mahoning County. But you can see when you're sampling some of those winds, you're measuring easily upwards of 70, potentially 80 mile per hour winds that are associated with this system. Now, if I clear off all these wind tracker, basically invests into the system, and let me do that one more time, you can actually see where you get this very wavy appearance, basically to the leading edge of this. So you've got a little bit of a kink in the line there, you've got one there, and then we're continuing to watch this piece of rotation finally clear out of our area. So basically embedded within this initial push of wind, as it works its way off towards the east, you can get little brief spin-ups. And yes, they can be tornadoes as they continue to work its way eastward with still a strong gust of wind pushing back behind it, upwards of 70 plus miles per hour. But that's where you could get these little brief spin-ups for you as we wait for this leading edge to clear. Behind it, not worried about the tornado threat farther off towards the west. Are you still going to be dealing with some pretty strong winds? Absolutely, because if you go farther to the west beyond that, I mean, you go about 9-10 miles or so, you're still within that corridor west of the leading edge where you could be seeing winds easily in excess of 60 miles per hour. So it is going to take some time for those wind speeds to come down. But once that leading edge edge passes you and you wait it out about maybe 5-10 minutes or so, then you will start to see conditions rapidly improving for you. But again, this is a very nasty line of storms as it's continuing its way off towards the east. I know with our radar, we are scanning up a little bit higher, but certainly you can tell where we're still dealing with a lot of these issues. New tornado warning for parts of Mahoning County. That now goes until 6 o'clock, but you can certainly understand why they did this. I mean, this is some extremely strong winds, regardless of if you're going to be able to see a tornado. You're likely not going to because of how much moisture is in our atmosphere and likely how obscured by the rain any tornado potentially in this storm could be.
Yeah, not a surprise there that Mahoning is now under that warning, and that's Youngstown. We don't have to stay on through that. But again, if you're in and around Youngstown, western Mahoning County, you want to get to your safe spot. I know that a few folks out there are able to get us, at least they have been in the past. Just want to make sure you know about that. The good news on the Trumbull County part of this storm, it's now moved off into western Pennsylvania. Really, the weather's getting better for that part of Trumbull County. The problem we're having is Warren right now is getting slammed. As Erica mentioned very smartly, we've got these little notches along the main line. One there, another one there, a little spin up there. And that is what tends to happen with us here in northern Ohio. Remember, last August, we had basically every county under a tornado warning at some point in the evening last year. And it was due to something along the lines similar to this. We did have several confirmed touchdowns, but as this line continues to slice through northern Ohio and encounter this very energetic atmosphere, you'll see these spin-ups right along the leading edge of all this rain and wind. It's not like the one we saw earlier that was out by itself. So we are watching the worst part of this storm right now, moving into southeastern Ashtabula County, moving right through Trumbull County, and now moving into northern and northwestern Mahoning County. So eventually this stuff is going to clear out. That doesn't mean necessarily our severe weather threat is done, because as we look a little bit farther off to the south and west, I'm looking for any brighter colors, a little bit of wind in and around the Canton area. We switch our radars to our Cleveland radar. Certainly some stronger wind gusts there, right along US 30 between Worcester and Canton. That's sliding into southeastern sections of Wayne County. Eventually here, Holmes, Tuscarawas, you guys will be under the gun for this leading edge. Those are about the only two counties left that we have to track this here for this evening, because then behind that, yeah, we're still going to get some rain, get some wind, certainly some thunder, but this is your edge, your leading edge of this front, or at least the main line of rain that's got the potential for these damaging wind gusts, as well as the potential for even some tornadoes as well. I want to let the control room that our wall-to-wall weather coverage is going to conclude at 5:30, so I don't know if we're going to go take a break before we reset things, or oh, okay, well, you tell me. That's fine. We can do that. Okay, well, that's fine. Mansfield over to Canton. We're going to be on the air till 6 now doing our wall-to-wall coverage, and that's okay because there's a lot going on, and basically it is the story today. So, yeah, we've got other news to cover, but really at the end of the day, something like a weather event like this where it impacts everybody is kind of our top story. So that's why we're on the air here with video. And again, Chris Fry mentioned it. It's really important to talk about. We're in an age where everyone's got a phone, right? And you get underneath a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning, the first thing you want to do is go out and use your camera to get pictures and get damage. We never want to see that. Some of the stuff you've seen today, folks, are in safe places shooting that video, and you really don't want to be out during a storm coming through. Now, after the storm clears, you've got some damage to show. Sure, send that along to us, send that along to the Weather Service. It can help them analyze what may have happened and basically make a determination of whether or not you had a tornado or straight line wind damage as well. But again, when the storm is rolling through, I know it's tempting. I get it. You want to go out there and get the best video and best pictures for your social media or to send them to your friends or your family. Try to resist the temptation and just stay to that safe spot. It's not worth it whatsoever. So many folks without power today. That's why it's very important that we always stream our coverage on our app, on the web, and also on our social media platform on our Facebook page as well. All right, let's head back over to Tiffany and Chris. They've got more pictures and video here from today.
Okay, we told you not a short time ago, about 10 or 15 minutes ago, that there were more than 240,000 people without power. That number, Chris, as we look at this map, has jumped to 300,000. And as I say this right now, this is across Northeast Ohio. Avon police sent out something. They are being inundated with calls. I'm going to read from there. They just said the power is out. Contact the electric company, not the police department, because they are being overwhelmed with all these calls, with all these power outages. So keep in mind that the police are dealing with situations too.
Yeah, just show your patience a little bit, and I'm sure that number will increase, as Jason mentioned just moments ago. Storms going through the Canton area right now. So our power companies, they're going to be busy tonight trying to restore power to those customers who have been affected and impacted by these severe storms today.
And then also we have a crew on the way to Hopkins when they're dealing with issues, plenty of delays, plenty of planes being rerouted. I have a text message into Michelle Dinya with the airport. She tells me that they're going to be sending out a press release shortly about how they're dealing with that situation. So a little bit of everything for everyone, but fortunately no major injuries to tell you about. I did get a text over in Westlake that there was a car and a telephone pole, minor injuries there in that city, but police say that that is definitely weather related. That was off of Columbia and Hilliard.
All right, and we're being told that a large tree is down now on I-480 near Clague Road. So a very high traffic area, but a large tree down now in that area at 5:30 during rush hour. That's going to cause a lot of problems this evening.
Yeah, the hope is that people weren't out on the road and they heeded our warning of a meteorologist telling them what was moving in, as they had alerts and everything else. We're going to throw things back to Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas. And Jason, we're staying on the air until 6 o'clock to keep people safe and to keep them aware of the situation and what's going on, right?
Yeah, and it's important to point out that while the severe weather threat is winding down for the vast majority of northern Ohio, we still have this line moving through that I don't love. Now, thankfully, hey, those severe thunderstorm warnings have been allowed to expire. We still have the watch until 7, and really our concern here is across eastern sections and really southeastern sections of the area. We've got this tornado warning. This is for Mahoning County. You can see the worst of the weather now here. Now has moved off into western Pennsylvania. Heavy rains from Youngstown over towards Ashtabula. We still do have that one severe thunderstorm warning. Let's check that there. And for Ashtabula, Crawford and Erie, that's Pennsylvania. That's Erie, Pennsylvania. That's Crawford, Pennsylvania. Very important to point that out. That is until 6:30. And then we've got this tornado warning, as we talked about, that for Mahoning County until 6 p.m. tonight. And then eventually out ahead of it, they're already issuing warnings outside of the Pittsburgh area too. So the worst of the weather right now is in western Mahoning County there. You can see all the thunder there as you move from the Ellsworth area along Route 45 to Salem. There's Sebring, there's Palmyra. Look at all the rain that's embedded in this, and all the lightning too. Again, no real, when you look at this, no real area that's a classic couplet, meaning of a red and a green. This is all for what we've been dealing with this afternoon, which have been those spin-ups from time to time along the leading edge of this storm as it moves now into the Youngstown area. Some rough weather right now, strong winds in and around Youngstown, but things are a little bit better. As you climb up, or as you move farther north up the Route 11 corridor into Ashtabula. Notice when our radar colors change, it indicates we're using our Cleveland radar. The farther south we go, it's our Pittsburgh radar. And overall, just to talk about what may happen here as you move through the rest of your evening, because I know folks may still have plans to be out and about. We really see things quickly improving here. In fact, we're rain-free through Lake County, Cleveland. We're getting another line just north of downtown Cleveland here that's going to slide on shore. Now, I want to make sure folks know there is rain, there is thunder with this line, but it's not the severe potential like we saw a couple of hours ago with that rotating line that was moving in from the lakeshore inland areas. Then as we head back farther off to the west, a few more showers out towards the islands, a lot of thunder there as well. But overall, certainly improving weather conditions here. You can see from Worcester over to Canton getting hit with some heavy rains and some thunder, but that's about it. Not much in the way of a severe weather threat. The really only issue that we're watching right now for our friends here that have counties that border the state of Pennsylvania, and for us, that's basically Ashtabula County, also over towards portions of Trumbull County. All right, I want to send it over to Rachel Veda, our traffic anchor, just because we've had so much in the way of heavy rains, potential flooding. We've got damage, we've got downed trees, power outages having an effect getting from point A to point B. Let's send it over to Rachel.
That's exactly right, Jason. Most of those small towns are already reporting nearly a dozen streets, even in Avon, where we have down lines or down trees that are blocking those secondary and tertiary roads. But I want to focus on the highways right now, where we have a lot of those commuters that are filling up the freeways per usual at 90 and Chester Avenue, but they're going much slower, not just on 90 here around downtown, where you can see they're moving at a snail's pace there, but throughout most of our traffic trouble spots and beyond. So here's a look at our map where you can see that we have miles of red. That means that we have drivers moving at 10 miles per hour or slower. So that's going to be the case if you're going to be heading especially westbound on 90 from Cuyahoga through Lorain County. And if you're going to be having some delays here over on 90 West heading south on 77, in that area alone, 25-minute delays from 90 West to 77 South, similar to what we're seeing with that half-hour delay between that Westlake and Avon area. And the same is going to go for those that are heading out of downtown towards Lake County on 90 East. All of those areas seeing delays upwards of 20 minutes and speeds around 10 miles per hour. We also have a couple of crashes and breakdowns that are popping up. So here's what it looks like at 90 at Clague Road. So there's where you're going to be seeing some of those slowdowns start. They're going to keep you on the road for, like I said, an extra 20 to 30 minutes between here and Avon. Here's a look at 490 and Broadway. Like I said, this is that area that is seeing some of the slowest speeds from 90 to 490 to then 77 at Broadway and 77 and Pershing Avenue. Now we're going to bring it over to Samantha Roberts for the latest update.
So much, Rachel. Obviously, wonderful information there because there's going to be a ton of debris and even some water on the roadways. These storms have been moving fast, so minimal flooding issues. There are some issues with flooding out there, but the main concern has been damaging winds and tornadoes. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of downed trees, power lines. Please be mindful of that this evening in your travels. Trumbull County, Ashtabula County, we still have some very active weather here, especially southeastern Ashtabula County and then eastern Trumbull County. Those storms, of course, moving out into Pennsylvania. We have some very nasty weather moving through central Stark County as well. That is not considered severe at this time. We're no longer in a severe polygon or anything like that, but some heavy rain here. I know maybe you've been watching us from Canton or from Massillon and you've heard us talking about all the tornado warned storms and severe storms to the north. We haven't forgotten about you. It's just we don't have any warnings in this area at this time. Severe threat minimal right now, but some heavy rain's going to create some issues there for sure. We've got new green polygons popping up to the north, up towards Portage and Geauga counties. Flood advisories here for recent rainfall. There's going to be some standing water in these areas. If you encounter a roadway tonight that has been submerged, please turn around and find an alternate route. You don't know what's under there. Maybe the road is gone. Maybe there's significant debris. Maybe there's power lines. So please avoid that going forward. Here's a radar indicated rainfall over the last several hours. And you can see Erica's putting some totals on here, around 3 inches across portions of Trumbull County. And then up into Ashtabula County, down into Portage County. You know, over the weekend, it was Saturday that we had flooding rain around the Ravenna area. And now you've seen more rainfall in the Portage County. So please be wary of any roadway that may be underwater. About 2 inches has fallen there in a very short period of time across Geauga County, Ashtabula. And then again, look at this 3.5 inches potentially there in inland Ashtabula County. We do still have a couple of tornado warnings place down to the south around the Youngstown area. Not technically our coverage area, but something that we're watching for sure since those storms did move through here. Those are also moving out into western Pennsylvania. And then you can see, obviously, we've had a lot of rain in Cuyahoga and Summit counties as well. There is your tornado warning for Mahoning County. And then look back here. So, you know, we haven't seen a ton of thunderstorms in southern Ashland, southern Richland today. So the atmosphere is still primed in some places down to the south and west for severe storms. And you can see we do have coming out of Lima more severe thunderstorms here, moving into an area that hasn't seen a ton of rain just yet. So that severe potential is still there across southern Richland County, maybe even into southern Ashland. You see that little boundary moving through Holmes County. So everything is just really crawling towards the south and east over the last couple of hours. I want to send it over to meteorologist Erica Page if we can. She is manning the radar this afternoon, and she may have an update for us.
Yeah, Sam, we've been continuing to kind of monitor our chat as well with the National Weather Service. Basically, what I'm seeing come through now outside of just the warnings or warning expirations that are across our area is just a lot of the damage reports that continue to come in, not only from areas off towards the east, especially through Cuyahoga County, but we've also seen a lot coming in out of the Summit County area, North Canton, those locations. I know we haven't discussed your area extensively. At times you have seen some of those severe thunderstorm warnings, but again, a lot of the focus has been on where those winds could twist a little bit more. That has been areas off towards the east. So please be mindful of this as we continue on through the rest of this evening, that once this leading edge starts to pass you by, then we have that better opportunity of potentially seeing activity quiet down. But it's going to be that leading edge basically off towards the east, farther to the south. You can see the new development here on that outflow boundary, helping to spark a few more showers and storms down towards Wayne County and even farther south into parts of northern Tuscarawas County. And then that new severe thunderstorm warning just to the southwest of the Mansfield area as we continue to wait for this line to move on through our immediate coverage area.
All right.
All right, Erica, thanks for filling us in on all of that. I want to just go here now. This is a picture, a video we showed you. This is West 25th and Marvin and Clark Fulton area. And Chris, as we showed you those live pictures, just like a week ago, this building burned. And then when the storm moved through, this is the aftermath.
Yeah, this is the aftermath. You also see a power line right in front of it already, so damage on top of damage with this particular business right there. And so this is really kind of the start of what we've seen all day. If we have more video to show, we've seen video all day of down power lines, trees happening in real time, and the power outages. We didn't get to that. Probably somewhat either close to 300,000 or probably now
might be over that. And as we're looking at that video, here's video of a tree falling. This is in Lakewood, and we have to talk about this because this is Lake Road there, and there are lots of trees down and lots of streets blocked. That's Lakewood. And as you look at Lakewood, I'm looking at this email that just came across from Avon Lake. Storm damage has led to several road closures. Electric, Moore Lake Road near 83, which is a major road there, 83 and Glenview. Now this is Lakewood, Westlake, excuse me. And you could see right there in the middle of your screen, watch what's going to happen right now.
Wow.
Boom, there it is. Tree fell there. We also can tell you on Lakewood, a pole, some type of a light pole, a person crashed into the pole. It was weather related, minor injuries there. And then you go, that bright orange off to the right there. Electrical issues there as that flag is waving and whipping in the wind with a tree there blocking that street. That's off of Hilliard near Columbia and Westlake, where they were inundated with calls, Chris.
Also want to mention we got some new information concerning a concert happening at Blossom tonight. Hosier was supposed to and we saw this earlier. This is new video. I'll mention that in a second. This is on I-77. Now you can see a tree on the side of the road impacting traffic there as folks, once again, during the rush hour on this Tuesday evening and this storm coming through. Want to mention once again about that Hosier concert at Blossom, slated to begin at 6 o'clock. Well, they're saying that is delayed at this point.
Because of this. And one more thing before we get to our chief meteorologist, Hopkins Airport. They are having issues there. We're waiting a word from officials at Hopkins. Right now, there have been plenty of delays and diversions of planes. Coming up in our 6 o'clock hour, we have a live report about what's going on there. In the meantime, let's turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas. Jason, oh, look at Edgewater now.
Yeah, I can almost sigh, that's a sigh of saying, as far as from a meteorological standpoint, things are really quieting down. Now, we obviously have a lot of issues out there. Talked about Hopkins Airport. We talked about the roads, power outages, damage, cleanup. Yes, that's all still an issue. But from a weather standpoint, our risk for severe weather is winding down. It's not done, especially across our southern counties, but the farther north you go, the better you are. Live look right now, Edgewater Beach. We showed you this camera earlier. It looked much different when we came on the air at about, what, 3:30, 3:45 with our extended wall-to-wall coverage. Obviously, we've been on the air since 3 p.m. during our 3 p.m. newscast, and we're starting to trim that severe thunderstorm watch back as well. I don't think all the counties are continuing in that watch, but we'll get that information out to you. Here's a live look right now from our Parma camera. Earlier, you couldn't see the city. Now you still can. Again, it's not a clear shot. There still is some rain, still is some thunder out there as well. This is out towards the Oberlin area. Visibility is improving a little bit there as well. Temperatures currently in the 60s and 70s. 72 Cleveland, 70 Lorraine, Sandusky. Okay, so we've zapped the heat out of the atmosphere. There's still a lot of humidity out there, but overall, as these storms that are still out over the lake slide south, they will encounter some more stable air. So, meaning they're not going to fizzle out, but they're not going to be nearly as potentially severe and create tornadoes and 70, 80 mile an hour wind gusts like we saw earlier here this evening. So that is a little bit of good news as promised. Okay, right now, downtown Cleveland getting some light rain. Rain and rumbles over the lake shore right now as you move just north of downtown Cleveland, nudging its way into portions of Lake County as well. And then more rain, storms out to the west. Now we're going to have to watch those because there still is enough juice left in the environment to get a little concerned. Notice the area of green there. That's eastern Cuyahoga County up into Lake County for a flood advisory. Flood advisories basically throughout all of northern Ohio. There's some counties that haven't been under a flood advisory, but high water issues across much of the area. Here's a look at Medina right now, getting hit with some minor rainfall currently, some light to moderate showers. Worcester right now is dry, a little bit of rain south of Orville. Right now, Canton is getting pounded with heavy rain and thunder in and around downtown Canton. And as you head farther off to the west, you can see these big green polygons here indicating flooding. That flooding has occurred, flood advisories in effect. And notice those 1, 2, 3 cells in and around the islands there towards the Sandusky area. The good news is, here we are. This is the leading edge. Still some nasty stuff, there's no question, but this is sliding south. Moving in from the north, more stable air, slightly cooler air, less humid air. That's going to be our weather late tonight into the day tomorrow. So we're going to turn the corner on this as we head over the next couple of hours. So that's what we have to look forward to. Unfortunately, we have thousands of folks without power right now, and that's most likely the #1 concern, as well as challenges out at Hopkins Airport too. But look at this air coming in for tomorrow and really for the rest of the week. Things are looking really good. All right, let's take a look here at First Alert Future View. Watch the clock with me here. This is here in about an hour or so, most of our action towards the Youngstown area and across our far southern counties. And that will be about it. Then a few lingering showers, yes, and some rumbles between now and 8 or 9 p.m. You can still see some showers and thunderstorms. But boy, by around 10 or 11 p.m. tonight, things really begin to improve with a couple of lingering showers. That's about it. So take a look at our hour by hour for this evening. From 7 p.m., we're in the upper 60s. We stay in the upper 60s to near 70. But overall, we gradually dry things out as we head through the remainder of your evening. All right, take a look at First Alert Future View. We're talking about tomorrow now. Tomorrow's a much better day. A few clouds from time to time. Overall, though, nice weather. Temps in the upper 70s to near 80, and we keep that nice weather trend going, and we need it after today. Thursday, a little bit of fog like we're going to see tomorrow, but look at Thursday afternoon. Whoa, we're in the low to mid 80s as we heat things up. Showing a couple of showers around. I don't really think we'll see much of that. Better chances as we head through the day on Friday. Overnight lows tonight bottoming out in the upper 60s. 60s. A few showers and thunderstorms early, and then we'll dry things out. We're seeing that now over the next couple of hours. Tomorrow, high temperatures in the upper 70s, patchy morning fog, but then sun clouds through the afternoon, and overall, a pretty nice day. And thankfully, not a first alert weather day and not a day that we're watching for potentially severe weather. Take a look at our 7-day here. Temperatures certainly improve. A few showers are around. We put that in for Thursday and Friday. It's going to be very stray, very isolated stuff. Isolated storms on Friday. Look at the weekend. Mid 70s and overnight lows in the 50s and 60s. Now, we still do have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect. And we're going to send it over to Sam for more on that. Sam, they've trimmed back some counties, but still some of our southeastern counties still under that watch, right?
Yeah, we've still got a couple of you in the watch, or more than a couple at this point. It's Akron and south, and then of course east to the state line in that severe thunderstorm watch until 7 o'clock. A watch means that conditions are possible for the development of severe thunderstorms. Of course, we've already seen more than a few severe thunderstorms, but the potential is still there for some additional ones, especially down to the south. I mean, Canton, we've got some thunderstorms moving through at this hour. We also have a very nasty thunderstorm moving into Carroll County, northern Tuscarawas County. To the west, though, we are out of the severe thunderstorm watch. So if you're in Sandusky or if you're in Elyria, I mean, this environment is just so worked over from all the storms that we've already experienced that our severe threat has significantly weakened. Now, there are some storms offshore that we'll need to watch. These are north of Kelly's. Do you see those downpours up there? Again, we are watching them closely, but they're moving southeast into an environment that's basically just really tired from all the storms we saw earlier. So we'll watch them. Not our main concern right now. What we're closely watching in our local coverage area would be these storms in Canton, the storm moving into western Carroll County, northern Tuscarawas County, and then again out towards Lisbon. You start to get out of our coverage area there. Rain moving away from Wayne County. Time now 5:51. Do we want to send it into meteorologist Erica Page to see what's going on her end?
Yeah, I wanted to pull up this camera. So this is our Shores and Islands camera. You're looking out towards Marblehead. And if you look in the distance, you can actually see where some of those cloud bases are continuing to shift across the lake. Certainly you'll notice a lot of that water continuing to pile in on the lake shore there. That's associated with these couple of thunderstorms. If we can just pop up our Weather 2 graphics really quickly instead of me, if that's even possible. I don't know if you guys can do that. But basically, there's a couple of different cells that are moving out across the lake right there. That's what you were seeing on that Marblehead camera. So it's not saying that once, we kind of get through this initial line that we're completely done with showers and thunderstorms. We may still see a little last burst of energy coming through on the backside of this system. Right now, we anticipate that the severe threat with it will be pretty low just because of how worked over our atmosphere has become. But I wouldn't completely rule out a few more rumbles here headed for the northern portions of our viewing areas, say parts of Lorain County, even out towards Cuyahoga County, just to see how well this stuff holds together. Again, not concerned with severe weather, but just don't be surprised if you hear a couple more rumbles of thunder as this last little push of energy continues to work its way down towards the south and to the east. Anchors, we're going to send it over to you guys.
We have gotten a lot of video in, and this is video right now that we're seeing of West 25th and Marvin, Chris, where this establishment, I believe it was last week, caught fire. And then when this storm, the system moved through, this is the end result. You see all that damage there and that tape to block off a portion of that road.
You also saw a light line falling there as well. So as we look at more video from this storm system from earlier today, this is a tree that blocked an entire road. This is in Lakewood right now. That car also underneath that, so that car suffering damage as well. Power lines, that's going to take a little while to clear that particular roadway. That's on Lake Road and Whippoorwill. That's in Lakewood.
And as we bring you this next video, I want to tell you this is Westlake. You'll see in the middle of your screen this tree is about to come down, but we can tell you that in Willoughby Hills, there are closures from Chardon and Eddy Road, from River Road and Somme Center. There are down power lines, trees down, and Parma. I mean, there's just a slew of video that we're looking at. And at last check, what was it, about 15 minutes or so ago, there were more than 300,000 people without power. And this is Westlake near Hilliard. If you look right there, that bright orange right there, you can see a pole down there, a tree down as that flag is waving in the wind. We can also tell you there's some power issues over at Hopkins, and during our 6 o'clock show, which is going to take place in a few minutes, we will have a live report bringing you information there because obviously flights are affected.
Also, this weather system delaying a concert tonight over at Blossom, and Hozier is performing, so a lot of people making their way there. Probably being slowed down by this particular tree. What interstate was this right now?
I-77. This is sent in to us just a few moments ago. All right, that's near Harvard. We're going to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas as we get ready to close out the show and get ready for the 6 o'clock news class. Jason.
Yeah, a heck of a couple of hours here, and we see all the damage there. We know all the power outages as well, so it's been a very active afternoon. Thankfully, from a weather standpoint, meteorologically, the threat isn't completely over, especially for our southern counties, but the threat is ending the farther north you go. That's greater Cleveland, that's Akron, that's Lakeshore. Again, a few rumbles of thunder are certainly possible. Look at New Philly right now. At last hour, they were at 92. They're not going to be at 92 at 6 p.m. because of these showers and thunderstorms rolling through. This is where we still have a little bit of energy across our far southern counties. Still have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect as well. That goes until 7 o'clock across our southern counties. We've got a lot of high water issues as well. Flood advisories throughout much of northern Ohio here this evening, as well as significant damage. But thankfully, our severe weather threat is winding down. It's not completely over, but it is certainly winding down. We have no severe thunderstorm warnings right now in our area. We'll say goodbye to our folks watching on CW 43. Of course, we will continue our coverage here on 19 News here at 6 o'clock coming up right now.
Can you guys refresh for the 6 o'clock show and the prompter, please?
6 o'clock's looking pretty good. They're still putting stuff in.
Yeah, I saw. I just want to make sure they do this.
400,000 without power.
Woo! That's the most I can remember.
Hopkins is now back.
I only have up to 7. Do you have it? I never even heard of 8. Well, hold on, just call them. Hi, I don't have an IFB 8 in my phone. What's the number?
first, fair, everywhere. 19 News starts now.
Powerful storms, possible tornadoes ripping through northeast Ohio, power lines and trees down, buildings collapse. More than 400,000 without power. And we've just learned the power is back on at Hopkins Airport. That is definitely good news. We have live team coverage tonight now at 6 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Tiffany Tucker.
And I'm Nicole Versansky in for Brian Duffy tonight. We're going to get to the outages, the damages in just a moment. But first, Chief Meteorologist Jason Nicholas has the latest on any watches or warnings that remain right now, Jason.
Yeah, and thankfully, Nikki and Tiffany, we're not seeing many remain. Certainly the watch across our southern counties and a few warnings to our south and east, but that's certainly the good news. Our severe threat is really diminishing. Temperatures right now in the low 70s, a couple of 80s here where it hasn't really rained much. But notice right now, light rain in and around greater Cleveland. No severe thunderstorm warning, no tornado warning for Cleveland. That was certainly different a couple of hours ago. Some light rain showers here. That's the light green from downtown to Brecksville. Also on the west side, a few light showers as well. Some heavier bursts of rain as well as some thunder here between Put-in Bay and, say, Avon. So this is going to eventually slide on shore. We're not seeing any severe weather in this. Gust of wind, some thunder, lightning, maybe a little pea-sized hail, but nothing expected to be severe. More rain as you head off towards Akron, Wadsworth, some light rain again, nothing overly heavy. Same deal down towards the Canton area. Off to the west, we have these showers and storms lining up and a lot of potential flooding. The worst weather right now is moving through Tuscarawas County from Dover to Sugar Creek over to Bucks and then back over into Carroll County as well. Severe thunderstorm warning here for northeastern Carroll County. And then also we've got some rain left over into portions of Ashtabula County. Take a look at the flood advisories, though. We've got a lot of those. Cuyahoga, eastern Cuyahoga, Geauga, Lake and Portage, that flood advisory until 8 o'clock. What that means is there have been reports of high water across the area. So if you're out and about driving, keep that in mind. Also, a lot of flood advisories off to the west. Erie, Huron, Sandusky, and Seneca until 7:15 p.m. as well due to some high water. But notice this line of rain and storms now is moving to Columbus, it's moving to Cambridge, it's moving to Pittsburgh, it's moving out of northern Ohio, at least that severe weather threat. Now, I can't rule out a couple of rumbles of thunder back behind the system, but this is going to be our weather for tomorrow. So take a look at First Alert Future View. There's your main line moving south and east through the area from Youngstown back over to the Pittsburgh area. A couple of showers lingering here by 8 p.m. Not too much in the way of any severe weather threat. 9 o'clock still looking at some showers around. 10 o'clock still some lingering showers. But overall, that severe weather threat really diminishing as we speak. All right, we'll have more on your forecast. Let you know about the great weather that moves in behind all this rain. All that coming up.
All right, Jason, thank you. We want to continue our team coverage. Kelly Kennedy continuing our team coverage now from Cleveland Hopkins Airport.
So the airport lost power, as we mentioned, in the storm as well, but it is back on now. So, Kelly, what is the situation out there?
And these storms causing a big headache for a lot of travelers here at Cleveland Hopkins. If you take a look here, you can see the long line of people still waiting to check in. The airport has been dealing with some power outages. As you can see, obviously the lights are on. They obviously have generators, but there's been several issues with the computers. People can't get checked in for their flights. It's very warm in here right now, so we think there may be some issues with the air conditioning. A lot of the escalators aren't working. I've been talking with some people who tell me they've been here for hours. We have lots of flights either delayed or canceled, incoming flights diverted. I'm told from some passengers that they're just kind of getting the computers to start working again, so some people are being able to get checked in. And there are some flights that at this point that are still on time and are still scheduled to go. We're going to keep you updated with this situation. We're about to talk with airport officials to get more information. But again, Cleveland Hopkins not escaping the wrath of these storms, dealing with some power issues here. And again, air conditioning issues, very warm in here, and a lot of computer problems, giving passengers a big headache and a lot of waiting, sitting around and waiting here in the airport tonight. For now, live in Cleveland, Kelly Kennedy, 19 News.
From Westlake to Parma to Lakewood, we are tracking damage reports all across our area.
Yeah, Caitlin McCarthy joining us live now from Willoughby Hills. The fire department there lost part of its roof. Caitlin.
Yeah, Tiffany and Nikki, the Willoughby Hills Fire Department has been working around the clock since this afternoon's tornado warning. So take a look. We're seeing pieces of their roof here outside their fire department. And if you come with me inside here, you can kind of listen to some of the calls dispatch is receiving. Their firefighters are all across Willoughby Hills right now. We saw lots of damage here while we got this. Now, there's been tons of traffic as well with down trees. Some down power lines, lots of branches in the roadway. So we saw lots of neighbors here around the Willoughby Hills Fire Department working to clean up their properties after this afternoon's tornado warning. So we're going to be out here the rest of this afternoon working to find out more answers from the fire department about the status of their roof and where most of these calls are going. But for now, reporting live in Willoughby Hills, Caitlin McCarthy, 19 News.
All right, now to some video here that some viewers sent us. This tree fell on Lake Road near Whippoorwill this afternoon. No one was hurt, thank goodness, but you're going to want to avoid that area altogether if you can. And that's kind of the similar picture that we see in across the area, Nikki.
Across the area here, heading to North Olmsted, much of that city is without power right now. You can just hear the winds whipping, the rain coming down. This is in the Brook Park Road area.
And those storms knocked down this pole at West 25th and Marvin. We're going to show you that video right there. We brought you these live pictures all afternoon. Gargano's building also collapsed. This was the restaurant that caught fire back on July 21st, if you may recall.
And in Rocky River, strong winds snapping another tree right in half. We're going to get to that video hopefully in just a moment. A lot of issues in Rocky River too. Power lines down at the intersection of Worcester and Riverwood. The window at an insurance company there also blown out. The fire department in River lost power, but thankfully that power there in Rocky River is back on. And then there's this. There's a tree down across I-77, across the interstate near Harvard, and you can see the ponding there, the high water there on the road as well. We're getting really reports of dozens of roads being closed because of all this damage left behind.
So let's get right over to Rachel Veda, who is tracking all those traffic problems across Northeast Ohio right now. We see something's going on in the middle of your screen. Rachel, what's that?
Yes, this is another look at that tree that has fallen onto 77 South just before Harvard Avenue. Crews right now are working to clear that, blocking the right side of 77. But that leaves drivers with just one lane to get through. So 77 South is not shut down, but it might as well be because these drivers are stuck with a headache on the highway for 45 minutes. And that's going to be out of 90, heading west to 77 South. And if you're about to be heading there, you're going to join these drivers who look like they're stuck in a parking lot instead of a highway. And the speeds are definitely a snail's pace. Just 2 miles per hour on that stretch of 77 South after 90, which is having its own slowdowns given that the backups are all the way by Dead Man's Curve. So if you're about to be heading this way, like I said, 45 minutes will be added onto your drive since this is the line of backups that we have at 90 at Chester Avenue. But it's a slow go with all those roads that are closed due to down power lines, fallen trees, slow goes just because of that rain that's still on the roads. Here's a look at the speeds that you're going to be dealing with if you have to leave your house. We have 11 miles per hour on 90 west past Avon, 15 miles per hour through Lakewood. Like I said, around the Cleveland area, 2 miles per hour. You're going to be heading east on 90 just after Route 2, 27 miles per hour. Those on 480 are not seeing much better speeds either before where that meets 77 or after 71. No matter where you're going to be having a lot of extra time being added onto your drive.
All right, Rachel, thank you. We want to take a live look downtown. This is West 3rd and Prospects. You can see streetlights down right in the middle of the road there. Police shutting down that road, causing a lot of problems.
Yeah, really dangerous situation there. We saw a power pole through a car windshield at one point and a stoplight laying across the road. But if you are in that area right now, West 3rd and Prospect, avoid it because police have a lot to deal with right now with this situation. This is quite a mess, and they got a few more hours before it gets dark before they deal with that power situation, the traffic light they're laying in the road. All right, look at this time lapse. This storm came in fast, and as you can see that in this time lapse video from our tower camera in Parma, look at it. looking nice, looking good now, but then you quickly see how that system moves right through, Nikki.
Yeah, and another time-lapse video. This time we have the storm moving into downtown Cleveland. Remember those clouds we saw on the lake, and then, wow, it's almost like there's no visibility at all. This is actually from our Science Center camera, and you see how quickly it just goes dark, right? And then it moves out, a lot of rain on the camera, and it almost looks like sunny skies at that point. Tonight's Men Are Rocks concert, by the way, with Bruce in the USA is canceled. They don't have power. Also, Blossom opening the gates later tonight. Actually, they just opened the gates now for that sold-out show. And of course, this is why you should have the 19 First Alert weather app. Everything you need to know to track any disruptive weather, dangerous weather. Live radar for storm tracking, hour-by-hour forecast, and it's free. Just scan the QR code there on your screen to download it. Jason.
All right, quite a block of news there. And again, as Nikki just said, the app is so important. Folks lost power today. If you didn't lose power, you may next time the storm comes in. So that's why we're on the app, we're on our Facebook page, and we're on the web during our live coverage. Good news is we still have some storms out there, but the vast majority of us, our severe weather threat is diminishing. More on this, a live look right now out and about. You know, still showing a little bit of a darkening of the skies as you look off to the south, but overall improving weather. We're back after this.
Keep trying, keep striving, keep chasing your dreams. And when you're ready to take that next step, come to Cuyahoga Community College. Earn a transfer-friendly degree or gain in-demand job skills. We can even help you launch your own business. And Tri-C won't slow you down. So don't stop. Keep moving forward to better skills, a better job, and a better life. Tri-C, where futures begin.
Whew.
Who do you want Tiffany to do that, or okay?
Live from the 19 News studios, sponsored by Cobella Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Serving Lake and Geauga counties, this is 19 News.
We want to give you a quick live update of power outages throughout the area. We're trying to get our our camera up, I can tell you there, here we go. Almost 400,000 customers without power throughout Northeast Ohio. Really, those outages pretty sporadic all across Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, it's going to take some time to get the power back up. I want to share with you, Avon basically said, do not call the police department, call your power company. Again, these are live pictures right now. This is, what is this, West 3rd and Prospect. You can see downtown. Yeah, it's going to take a while to clean that up. Those are traffic signals that are down. They are laying across the street. You see the police off in the distance there. So everyone has to be patient here. As far as we know, Nikki, no reported injuries, and that's certainly the good news.
Absolutely.
Well, recreational marijuana sales start today right here in Ohio. Medical dispensaries were the first to get approval for recreational sale. Those dispensaries can now sell both medical and recreational marijuana, but you have to be at least 21 years old and have a valid ID. 19 investigator Gabby Hart has been keeping us informed on all the things marijuana since Issue 2 passed.
Yeah, so now she's looking into the financial side of things, the tax revenue.
Not the highest, not the lowest. Think of it as the Goldilocks of weed taxes. That's one way to describe Ohio's tax rate on recreational marijuana. Ohio imposes a 10% tax on top of the 5.75% sales tax already in place for the state, meaning recreational marijuana will be taxed at 15.75%, which falls just below the average rate for states with legal weed. If we just look at the tax you pay when you buy it, we see a huge range. Some states, like New Jersey, have a tax under 7%, whereas others, like Washington, are more than 37%. And just like many other states with legal weed, our tax money will be put to work for important causes. We're talking 36% going towards social equity and creating jobs, another 36% going directly to the cities to use as they see fit. The plan also considers the need for addiction and substance abuse resources. 25% of tax dollars are earmarked for that too, and 3% goes to the Division of Cannabis Control and Tax Commissioner Fund. And get this, a 2023 study done by The Ohio State University estimates that by the 5th year of legal marijuana sales in Ohio, the state could rake in $276 to $403 million in taxes. Gabby Hart, 19 News.
And 19 News will keep an eye on the sales numbers and tax revenues generated from recreational marijuana sales, and look for our latest reporting on cleveland19.com.
The 19 First Alert Forecast, powered by Northeast Factory Direct. Great furniture, amazing prices.
Well, what a day so far. Live look right now, Edgewater Beach. Not bad. We still do have a few showers and even some thunderstorms out there, still off to the north and west. But for the most part, our worst weather is now sliding south. You can see downtown Cleveland, certainly a little better than it was about an hour and a half ago. Temperatures currently in the low 70s. Still a lot of high water across northern Ohio, but that severe weather threat is diminishing. Rain showers, also some thunderstorms off to the west of Cleveland, out towards the islands there. These are going to move on shore into northern Lorain County with a burst of rain and perhaps even a rumble or two of thunder. Not expecting any severe weather. Medina to Akron, some light rain showers. Same deal down towards the Canton area. We do have some rain and storms out towards the islands. That's kind of the last burst of showers and storms we have to get through. The worst weather for us right now is in Carroll County. Severe thunderstorm warning south and east of Carrollton here for Carroll County over the next 15 to 20 minutes as that cell moves south and east. We've got a flash flood warning. That's for Trumbull County. We've got flood advisories too. A lot of those for eastern Cuyahoga, Geauga Lake, and Portage. That until 8 p.m. and more flood advisories for Erie, Huron, Sandusky, and Seneca until 7:15. Again, we saw a lot of rain, a short amount of time. That did cause some high water issues. So out and about tonight, it's going to take some time for those water levels to lower a little bit. So just be very careful if you're going to be out on the roadways tonight. So the worst of the weather now is going to slide down into the Columbus area, also into the Pittsburgh area. But again, remember, we still do have a few showers and storms off to the west, but eventually our weather tomorrow will take a turn for the drier and certainly a lot more quiet as far as the lack of severe weather. Between now and 8 p.m., notice for the most part showers and storms across our southeastern counties. This is 8:15 tonight. You can see just a few lingering showers here. Overall, not expecting any more widespread severe weather at all tonight. In fact, by 9 or 10 o'clock, things really do begin to quiet quiet down. All right, overnight lows tonight bottoming out mainly into the upper 60s. Storms early. We're seeing those now. A couple of rain showers, perhaps even some bursts of heavy downpours. Tomorrow, though, improving weather conditions. 78. Can't rule out a little fog early in the day. Otherwise, a mix of clouds and sunshine. A better weather day tomorrow. Still a little sticky. It's going to take some time for that humidity to lower, but it'll certainly be a little more bearable than what we saw today. And again, the drying conditions will be very nice because a lot of folks still may not have power. We don't want that real hot weather coming back, and in case they don't have AC, and that won't be the case tomorrow. Pretty comfy, in fact. Temperatures in the low 80s Thursday into Friday. Now, there is a slight chance as we head through Thursday afternoon, also into Friday afternoon, of a couple of showers and storms. But look at the weekend. I mean, 75 for this time of the year. That's open up the windows weather and then staying nice as we head into the early part of next week. The good news is right now, severe weather threat, it's diminishing, especially the farther north you go. Sports next.
19 News first, fair, everywhere.